Just hit it. There we go. There we go. People love the intro.
Yes, it's perfect.
They love my effed up intro. What's up? It's a hang with Mike and Matt. Thanks for tuning in. Thought it was a stellar hang on Friday.
Oh, I had a blast.
I couldn't believe it was 4.5 hours.
Oh my God, me either. I got home, I was like, whoa. All right.
I think we started at 6:30, and I looked at the clock. It was 11:30. I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah, good times though.
Good time. Good time. Appreciate you coming by on a Friday. I didn't want to deprive the people of a hang.
No, I'm with you, man. I like trying to keep it going.
The momentum going.
That's right.
It's all about momentum.
All about momentum.
If you look at, did you watch any of the football games this weekend?
I did, yeah.
But it's like the 49ers. It's like as soon as Detroit went for that 1/4 and didn't make it, the momentum switched and it was all downhill. I can't even understand what momentum is, but it's a thing. It's as far as sports, it's a definite thing.
I'm a fan. Well, I agree with you, and I'm a fan of teams going for it on fourth.
So am I.
I feel like it's shifted that direction more in the last few years than I've ever seen it before.
Yeah, it has.
But with that, I also looked at that guy's decision. I'm going, really? Like, geez, man. Like really laying the balls on the table, and that's fine. But
he laid his balls on the tables like 5 times.
Multiple times, right? Yeah. Yeah, it was weird.
Yeah, especially the one I really didn't understand was it was like he could have kicked it and tied it at like 27, 20, or whatever, 24-24.
Yep.
With a few, still plenty of time left, but you could have tied it, and you went for it, and you got nothing. And then you were 2 scores down, and it was all over. It was all over once they scored again, and you were 2 scores down, man. I think, he's like, he's done it all season. Yeah, well, I don't believe has he gone for it 4 or 5 times in a game all season? I bet he has.
Yeah, and I get the Lions fans are happy to be there. That was the whole narrative. Like, a lot of them were just, hey, man, we're happy to be here. But, you could have gone a little further. You could have. But that's not my, decision-making.
That's, I think he, like I see, like I was always watching McAfee, and he's like, got to admire, he believes in his guys. It's like, man, you're never going to make every 4th down, ever. That's impossible.
Right.
You're lucky if you get 50, 60%. Well, once you've gone for it 3 times already, again, man, the odds are stacking up that you're not going to get it.
Yeah, do it again.
It seems kind of stupid.
I did place bets a little bit.
Oh, how'd you do?
I don't even remember. I think I did okay because I chose to do the over-under this time. And I just chose the over.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
Yeah, I can't remember what it was.
It was the over.
But it was the over, yeah, on whatever game I bet. And I was like, all right, cool. Now we got to let it ride. And then, of course, I lost a little bit.
Yeah, I guess the over-unders are pretty safe. It's a 50-50 deal. That's I guess is it like black and red and blackjack? Is like it's either over or under.
That's
right?
it. Yeah, yeah. It's like, okay, you double your money or you lose it all. Like,
it's got to be frustrating.
Is what it is.
Watching a game, and you've got either way. You got the over. You're like, come on, nobody's scoring.
Well, you're right.
Or stop scoring.
That I'm so amazed at how good the odds makers are. On all of it. That's the thing. I know everybody talks about it being rigged, and there's rigged, I'm not buying into all that. But I will say it is amazing how close these odds makers get this stuff. It's majority of the time, from what I've noticed on there, every single one, as far as like odds are concerned, it's a real nut tugger.
Yeah.
Especially with that over-under or the spreads, all this stuff. I'm going, oh my God, like. I'm like biting my nails until the end. I don't understand how they do it. And everybody, like you say, people talking about it being rigged. And the more I live life and realize that everything I've ever known has turned out to be fake, I'm thinking this is a multi-billion-dollar industry. These stadiums are the teams are worth
$1 billion, $2 billion. You don't think they're fucking cheating in every aspect of it, like every other corporation trying to maximize profits? I don't.
Yeah.
You might as well just say it's rigged.
Well,
and if you think it's not, you don't think it's rigged, you're crazy.
The cheating is going on right in front of your face when you're drinking a $15 beer. That's where, that's a ground level cheating right there, is when you go to the stadium and they're charging you, $18 for a popcorn. Popcorn? Really? How does this?
It's like 3 cents a popcorn.
Yeah. In what world does that margin make sense? And furthermore, like if there was a hurricane that came through and they put the price of gasoline up to $8 a gallon or whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
They're going to come by and go, "Whoa, you can't do that. You're taking advantage of the consumer."
Because they have no other option.
Right.
It's called price gouge.
Price gouging, right. But for some reason, in a stadium atmosphere, they can go, "You want a hot dog? Great, $20.
Coke?
Popcorn,
$6.
Yeah. It's still, they've got you over a barrel and they know it, but at least be a little more gentle about it.
I think they have it. They're like have odds makers. They gotta get that price of things. Or they'll pay $16 for a beer. 17? No, they won't.
Yeah,
but they'll pay 16. That's what it is. Donna, it's funny you said that, Donna. We were watching the news last night, and she's like, "How come that isn't gouging?" And I was like, I don't know. Because it is.
People just have accepted it, of knowing that if you're going to go to a game or a stadium, you're going to get, bent over.
Big time.
And everybody just kind of knows it. And it's like, oh, well, we've got to, okay, we know that tickets are going to be this much. We know parking's going to be this much. And then we also know that food's going to be this much. So we have to budget in all this together and bundle that up to make the decision whether or not we're going to be able to afford to go to a game or not. And they've priced everybody out. But they're pricing them out over popcorn. And, it's weird.
Have you ever seen like a commercial for the Buccaneers where they went, inflation is really bad and we're doing pretty good here. I mean, we're really kicking ass. So you know what we're going to do this weekend for this game? Half off on popcorn. You will never see that ever. They don't give a shit about you. That's why I can only root for sports so much, because it's full of the whole thing's a bunch of assholes from top to bottom. There's some good guys, good players. I'm sure there's some good even owners, but bottom line is your bottom line right up to the CEO. What's that guy's name?
Glazer?
No, of the NFL.
Goodell, yeah.
That guy's a piece of shit.
Well, the only time I can recall when I was a kid, there was the team, the Tampa Bay Storm, and this is when the indoor arena league, the 50-yard indoor war first came out, and they were wearing those like cheetah Zubaz pants or whatever. It was a
wild league.
It was a wild league.
They were making $2,000 a game.
Well, I remember seeing the owner, whatever his name was, on TV, and they would run these commercials, and he was going, "If we don't win, everybody's getting their money back." And he would literally, it was just like, if they didn't win, I mean, he was rolling the dice big time. But I thought that was so cool at the time. Maybe it was just because I was a kid.
Yeah. Well,
but hey, look, if we don't win.
It's a win. It's a win-win.
Yeah.
If they lose, well, at least they didn't have to pay for it. So like you say. I bet the owners are in some kind of, see, once again, it's rigged collusion. Where they're like, you have to charge this much so we can all get away with it. We can't have the stadium in San Diego selling popcorn for $6.
Well,
when we sell it for $12, it's going to look bad.
Well, and they've got vendors.
People will be on to us.
They've got to answer to, I don't know if it's Aramark or whoever does the concessions, but it's not like the Bucks are setting the price, right? I mean, it's everybody's sitting down and going, here's where it's going to be comfortable for everybody when we go ahead and split those profits up. But
it's quite disgusting. It's really disgusting. It makes you. For me, it makes me hard to root for pro teams. So I just root for them very shallowly. I'm like, "Yay, go! Oh, you lost! Darn it all! I'm gonna go mow the lawn." But I do enjoy I love the games, and I'll root hard. And then I'm like, I don't care about these guys.
I'm such a fan of like people being creative about sneaking in food and beverages to whatever stadium they can. Like,
it's some good stuff.
And you'll see. And I think I used to be like, well, that's not fair. How come they say? They snuck that. I know that was probably my mentality at some point in time throughout my life of going, well, that's not fair. How are they able to do that? And now I'm going, man, get it. Get away with it. Do whatever you need to do, because I can't blame you. If you can sneak in some sort of flask with 12 shots in it as opposed to paying, the equivalent of $550 or whatever would that be, go for it. I'm not even mad at it.
I'm totally with you. I can guarantee there would be a time in my life where if Trace had come home, 20 years ago, maybe with a TV and said, I was at Walmart and I had it in the bottom thing and they didn't even ask for it and I got a free TV. And I was said, we're going to go back to Walmart and you got to pay for that TV. That's long gone. I'd be like, way to go. Way to go. Screw Walmart. Screw these corporations. Get it. Good job, buddy.
Yeah.
It's a different time.
Hey, Bucks had a good run.
It was real good. That's impressive.
Remember how I was saying a couple weeks ago, Ric Flair lives here now, and he has just steamrolled through this town.
Yeah,
there was such
Flair's town now,
dude. It is totally Flair City. And there's I took a picture of it actually because it was so funny. Ric Flair tweeted out after the Bucks lost or whatever, and he just put at Baker Mayfield. We've only met once. As of today, I have so much respect for you and the Buccaneers. You played your heart out. You're a badass. I live in Tampa. I don't have your number. I would love to hang out with you. You are such a badass. I'm so proud to say that I'm a Buccaneer fan. To the whole Buccaneers team, God bless you. You went places you weren't supposed to go. Next year, let's kick ass.
He knows how to work.
It's like listening to a 10-year-old write a letter to like their favorite sports star. And
it's genuine.
It's
no, he's like, but it doesn't matter because it works for both ways. Because if I'm Baker Mayfield, I'm like, honey, we're having a barbecue next week, and sit down for a second. And you know who's going to be there?
Who's coming over?
Ric Flair.
Woo!
Woo! I mean, you're in your neighbors can hear you. Wow, I got to get the woo. Woo! They can hear that coming from your backyard, and they're like, they got Ric Flair over there.
Unless Flair gets a little too tipsy and just doesn't leave, and it's like, hey, is this Ric Flair guy ever going to go home? He's just dancing and woo! And doing everything that Ric Flair does.
He's taking bumps.
Yeah.
Bleeding all over the place.
Eventually, somebody's going to have to kick Flair out.
I think you're right, because that crossed my mind, too. It's like, he looks like he gets pretty smashed.
And who's going to be the one to tell him to go home? Like, you can't be Flair. Time to go.
I mean, it was like when Artie Lang was on stage at one time. He was going like an hour over.
Yes.
And every hour it was costing Bubba like $1,000. And he, everybody, we were like, and we're like, we can't kick him off.
Yeah.
He said, I think he's going to go all night because he was drunk and he was just going to go. Oof. He was getting, he had a great crowd.
He was on it.
Great crowd. He was drunk. He was on it. Probably on cocaine. He was not stopping. And I went on for a long time. Above like, what are we gonna do?
Yeah, that was a interesting night for sure. Oh my God, yeah, the Flair thing. I don't know.
You're lucky he didn't say, Spice Boy, go pull him off stage. Oh, did you refuse?
Yeah. I go, I'm not doing. And then he told me to go F myself or whatever. But yeah, I'm not pulling Artie Lang out.
Good move.
Sorry,
He'd forever be the guy who pulled Artie Lang off stage.
Right, you go pull him off the stage. I'm not.
Should have Ned done it. This is a fake guy.
Excuse me.
Fake guy take the heat.
I'm going to
go. Overtime. Union rules.
Oh, my God.
Then he kicks my ass.
I had to do the Gasparilla thing this past weekend, which was fun. It's a little bit of a sensory overload here on my end.
It looked like it would have been more fun if the old guy hadn't fallen off the float and stopped everything for
God.
Were you behind that?
Yeah. So our float stopped for like 40 minutes.
Bro,
I had to do crowd work to just on a microphone, just doing crowd work to same
people.
I
turned on the parade for a while.
Oh, did you?
And then I was fascinated that it wasn't going, so I watched it a lot longer than I would have.
Well, yeah, and we were all in the parade like, what happened? And then finally somebody said, I guess somebody fell off a float. I still don't know the story.
78-year-old man allegedly fell 15 foot off a float.
Oof.
So they couldn't move him because he was like,
It was Ric Flair.
It was Ric Flair. It was. You're like, honey, Ric Flair's going to be on the float.
Woo!
Ric-
Can I come on your float? How are you going to say no to Ric Flair? You just let him on the float.
Then he falls off and he sues you for everything you got.
Yeah.
That's his MO. That's what he says as he walks out of courtroom. And you're fucking bankrupt. And he's like, got another one.
They had who was the Grand Marshal? Was that Bert Kreischer comedian?
Did he take his shirt off?
Of course, he took his shirt off. I've only seen one of his specials. It was fine. It wasn't. I don't remember that much about it.
He's not really my type
To be memorable.
I mean, I don't like hate Bert Kreischer,
Yeah.
but I really do hate that no shirt gimmick. Let's just.
At some point, you got to put back on a shirt,
Who wants
right?
to see a somewhat overweight guy's gut for like an hour? I mean, I'm not like a superficial guy, but just put a shirt on. That's all I'm asking. You don't have to look good. You can be that fat, but put a shirt on.
Well, or if you. I guess that. I mean, apparently that's his gimmick.
I know, but how
he
funny
immediately
is that-
walks on to wherever he's going. He just
takes
walks
his
and then
shirt
takes his
on.
shirt off. But it's if you're going to a show and paying for that, all right. I guess.
You got to see it.
Yeah, I guess you've. Yeah, I guess you've.
He's going to take his shirt off. Think he'll take his shirt off again, honey? I hope so.
When's he going to take his shirt off? You think it's going to be soon?
I'm going to do a bit about that. Husband and wife go to see Bert Kreischer, and he doesn't take his shirt off.
Oh, that's ridiculous. I want my money back. I was promised a topless show.
I mean, I think there would be such a murmur in the crowd, he'd eventually just have to take his shirt off. He'd just like, fuck it.
It would. People would find it very strange if he didn't take his shirt off, which is this weirdest thing in the world. But
It's got to be frustrating. That's like Dave Chappelle, in the I'm Rick James, bitch. And so he would just go on stage and eat a sandwich because he was so sick of people.
dude, I went and saw Chappelle at Ruth Eckerd
it was
Hall.
great.
It was so good. But yeah, you'd have that person in the back, I'm Rick James. And it's like, well, you don't think he's heard this one before, man? Like, let it go. Like, just watch the show.
Hecklers are the worst because it's like you got this guy up, this talented, comedian who's brilliant, but you think people want to hear what you got to say.
Rarely are the hecklers creative.
Very rarely.
And even on a more rare occasion, will they actually have the time to spit out everything that they want to get out, which one thing may be good, who knows? But they're going to be cut off at the pass and kicked out of the venue, so it makes it all stupid.
Hecklers. Get the fuck out of here.
Well, it happens.
Yeah, I would. Yeah.
Everybody's got them.
Yeah, I don't know what I mean, some people they feed off of them and do well with hecklers until they're wrestled out of there, because it gives them an opportunity to just fillet somebody. I never had that opportunity to deal with a heckler, and I don't know how I would have done. I would like to think I did well, but I might just go, get him out of here.
Like actually on stage at
on
one of the
stage.
shows?
Yeah, one of the shows.
So you never had to, so you never had to deal with any of those?
On stage?
Yeah.
They didn't. No, not really. I don't think I got heckled.
Which is funny. Because
Did you get heckled?
No, that's the thing. I guess everybody just kind of was all in all just a pretty good crowd.
I think it was a good crowd. We had great fans, and I think we put on a good show. I don't think it was like, it's not easy to put on a show like that.
No.
And we put a lot, it's like a lot of, like, I'm sure there's some morning shows who do shows and they just kind of show up with a half-assed deal. It's like, man, I know I worked on mine. You had like 20 minutes or so.
Something like that.
Everybody had, their material and had it down. And then Bubba would go up and hit Tom the Tree Man with a baseball bat. And they loved that as well.
Hey, to each their own.
And we never got heckled.
No, yeah, for real.
People, we didn't have, like, nobody ever called up with that Bubba Palooza was bullshit. There was never that call, I don't think.
I do remember a couple.
A couple, really?
But, that's just trolls being trolls. So, that was just,
yeah.
you got to chalk it up to anonymous callers.
Trust me.
Saying anonymous things. So
there's always going to be somebody hating on what you do just, because they're a troll, no matter what.
Have you gotten more? You feel like you've gotten more, not sensitive, but because that's not the word I'm looking for, but more in line of going. You just don't want to. You just want to be happy.
Yeah, I mean, I've always kind of been.
Does it make
I mean,
sense?
you've known me my whole career. I'm not like a super like let's get the money going and let's live life to the
Yeah.
fullest and jump off some mountains. I'm a very happy guy. But the older I get, it's like, man, if I could just not even leave this house and sit on the couch with my dogs and my wife and my cats and watch some good TV
Yeah.
and then go ride my bike on the property and pet my horses, smoke a joint. That's all I need. I'm very simple, man. I'm a very simple guy. That makes me happy. I'm happy when everybody's around me is happy and safe. I'm happy. I'm a simple guy that way. Like I'll lie awake at night and go, I'm going to go to sleep and there's nothing I have to worry about with my family. And
Yeah.
that's a great feeling.
Then you always hear about those older people when they're on their deathbed, and they all like, at least from what I can recall, probably 90% of them.
Come closer.
Yeah.
Closer. 90% of them.
90% of them all do the same thing. They're like, love each other. Don't waste time on petty stuff. Like it's always the same sort of messages, but yet in society we take it in and we go, man, grandma's right. We really, and then we go right back to our vicious ways
right back to it.
Yeah, and forget everything that every majority of every older person on their deathbed has told us of: be a good person, live, laugh, love, all the typical stuff that you think is trite, but yet they all say it and we just ignore it.
Yeah, and I'm not, I don't want to preach that. I'm not a preachy guy, but I'll say it occasionally because I think people need to hear it. It's like, man, just enjoy life, enjoy your freedoms right now. It ain't gonna get no freer than right now, so enjoy it. Right now, enjoy right now, like the Roaring '20s. Enjoy that shit right now because it could be headed off a cliff. Maybe not, but it might be. So enjoy your family, your friends. And, don't worry about all that stupid shit, that small ass petty shit.
But then I find myself worrying about stupid, small ass, petty stuff, and it's so frustrating. Even on my way here, I'm listening to the news, and it's just so infuriating for so many reasons. Like,
don't listen to the news. Is what? See, I
can't help it. I'm like a glutton for punishment because I like listening to the news.
It's bad.
Yeah, and that's the thing.
Have you ever gone a weekend, Matt, without watching the news?
Yeah, it drives me crazy.
See, I have because I every day I have to look at the news. I'm doing a show, and I have done that before the whole weekend, and I'm like, oh man, I was not thinking about that stupid shit all weekend.
Whenever I would go to like Vegas for a couple days, and when you're in Vegas, you just lose touch with the real world in general. It's just gluttony and whatever.
It's all, you're always inside. And
yeah, the last thing you're doing is watching a news program. Everything's sports and entertainment, and
it always seems like it's like nighttime.
Yes, it's everything's a party. But then I go back to the real world. I got to catch up on my news, and I would spend hours just going back and trying to figure out what I missed over the 3-day span from me being in Vegas. Like what happened here? But even the news. Not to get political. I don't want to get political. Don't get me wrong. But
we could get political. We could.
Well, we'll do it. I swear to God. I don't talk to that many people, but I have never met a person who supports Nikki Haley. Where are all these Nikki Haley supporters coming from? In the news, they're lying about these polls.
It's fake. They got to be,
because they're going, well, the latest Nikki Haley has her at 44% compared to Trump's 42% or whatever it was, and I'm going, I've never met anybody that goes, Nikki Haley rules. Like I just don't come across it
ever. I
can't.
I
would get some DeSantis stuff, but I've never heard anybody even utter Nikki Haley's name.
On Twitter, you'll see like DeSantis, you'll see all kind of stuff. Tim Scott, but nobody ever is like Nikki Haley. You'll get negative Nikki stuff. I've never seen a positive Nikki Haley anything.
It's the weirdest thing in the world to me, and they're talking about these polls, and I'm wondering what.
It's just, that's how see, they're not really worried about making it believable anymore.
Yeah,
I mean they've already they went through the last 3 or 4 years of dupe, and it's like the news, even your local news, still pretends like Joe Biden doesn't have mental problems, and like he's coming up with plans like to bomb Iran. It's like, yeah, are you shitting me? That guy, that 80-year-old guy, you gonna let your 80-year-old grandfather go plan the next world war? I say we bombed the whole city. Those fuckers, you're dying in a year and a half, Grandpa. What do you give a shit that you're gonna start a nuclear war,
bro? I'm so worried about these. Not worried, interested about all these celebrities building these underground bunkers now.
Yeah, I've heard about that.
It's so trippy, and I don't know how true it is. I haven't researched it as far as like the due dates, but apparently, like a lot of these celebs they got like due dates put on these bunkers. Like, hey, we have to have these done by this date.
We gotta find out that due date, Matt.
Yeah,
we gotta find it out.
It's I can't remember what it is off the top of my head, and again, I don't even know how factual it is, but it is fact that there's all these celebs that are building these bunkers, and honestly, if I could afford to do that, I would. Well, I take it back. I would definitely have one too, but man, something's got to be behind it, right? Like.
Maybe. I don't know. Every like 5 or 10 years, it feels like it's going to be the end of the world. To me, this feels like it's really, really, really closer to something, some giant seismic shift in something in society, in the world, and they're setting us up for it. So yeah, but having a bunker, I've always thought about that. It's like, well, you got to be prepared, be prepared for, but how is life going to be like, If you need a bunker to survive, then one day you gotta leave that bunker, right? Run out of food, and what's up there? You immediately get slaughtered by the.
I know
by the mutants.
Yeah, who knows? I mean, a Zuckerberg bunker's got to be pretty sweet. That thing's gonna be the creme de la creme. But at what point, if you're one of these celebrities,
it's in Hawaii, isn't it?
Yeah, so he's really
it's a mansion bunker.
Yeah, big,
of course.
But if you're one of these, like a Jay-Z or a Beyonce who's building a bunker, and let's just say that something's going down. Like you've got such an inkling or an insight into something that it's happening, so you're building a bunker. My issue is, at what point do you? Who do you cut off in telling that, right? Because if you tell your family, clearly your family's going to tell other families that they care about, and then this list grows, right? I don't wonder who the likes of a Jay-Z or a Beyonce said. I wonder if they sat down and say, "Look, we're not telling anybody. We're not allowed to tell anybody because much like if you win the Powerball, somebody's going to tell somebody, and so on and so forth." Where does that cut off?
That's a hard cutoff too.
That's a real hard cutoff.
I really like Uncle Johnny, but I mean, he's right on the bubble. He's right on the bubble.
And just because they're family doesn't mean that they're more important than maybe one of your best friends in life, who knows you more than your second cousin that you've met twice.
It's an interesting conundrum, Matthew. See, I don't know. We don't have a ton of friends. But like my best friend Brandon, he did the bar show. Mm-hmm. He is like a welder. He works on trailers.
Ooh, bunker maker.
He could redo your whole trailer and make it pimp my trailer kind of deal. He's really talented that way. He knows his shit about that kind of stuff, and he's a good guy. So he's getting in the compound. I don't know who ahead of a lot of people because he's going to contribute. You also got to think of that.
That's true.
Easy to get along with too. You also got to think, what if you got a family member, but they're going to ruin the whole thing.
A little too much, a little too chatty or something like that.
It's not just a bitch or a jerk. It's like, so we got to leave.
You do have to choose your bunker mates pretty wisely.
I think you do.
Those bunkers, I remember watching some specials on like Nat Geo where they have them in those, underground like wheat silos or whatever. And the guy, like this was probably 10 years ago. I saw this little documentary on it, and they made him seem insane. The guy who was building them.
They always do.
Yeah, they always
prepper. He's a prepper.
Yeah, and it's like, well, if you want one of these bunkers, you'll have to pay a big ticket price. And they're really kind of mocking the guy.
Yeah.
And here we are 10 years later, and I think a lot more people are going, maybe we should have saved up for one of those bunkers. Now, how you get to the bunker after something, if you've got some sort of like nuclear fallout or something, How are you going to get to a bunker? I don't know.
Well, maybe Zuckerberg's already in the bunker.
He's going to be already in the bunker.
And it's a guy in a mask because they got they got all those realistic masks.
Yeah.
Zuckerberg's already hunkered down.
He wasn't even on Capitol Hill today? Is that what you're saying?
No, it was not him.
That wasn't him apologizing to the families?
How? I always wonder, how does that feel to have to do that kind of stuff? Or are you just like, let me just do this and go back to my $1 billion, mansion?
To be roasted on Capitol Hill?
Yeah, I mean, or like then to have to apologize to the families for shit you did, but you don't care because you're a sociopath, right? Or not? I don't know. I don't know
either. As I was watching Zuckerberg apologize to these families after getting roasted for hours. I mean, that's just what they do. All these politicians grandstand. They make you sit there. They ask you questions that they already know the answer to, or that they can cut you off and go, and did you, Mr. Zuckerberg, know that you were putting children's lives in danger? No. The answer is no. Yes. The answer is yes. You did know that, Mr. Zuckerberg. They're already teeing it up. It's all a show.
It's all a show, but I guess it's a pretty good show.
It was.
Do you think they get together beforehand? Because Zuckerberg donates vast sums of money to politicians in Washington. Do you think, hey Zuck, hey, we're gonna grease you, man? Here's what Tony from Delaware is gonna say, and Tony says it, and Zuckerberg's like, oh my god, it's like a roast.
Yeah,
it's like a roast, and he's like, yeah. And then you take this, you better sit down. You're gonna have to apologize to the families. But then remember those $billions, dollars that we promised you. That's how it works. Everything's fake. Everything's fake, especially in DC.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I'm sure you've watched Veep.
Yes.
And it's like everything pretty much there was, pretty fake, everybody would just, it's a big thing to agree to benefit everybody and them trying to benefit and nobody thinking about the American people at all.
Yeah.
That was never, it was all about votes and money.
Well, two things with that. One, going back to the Zuck thing, I was just watching that thing and I'm going, Tom from MySpace exited at a perfect time.
Yeah.
He got in, made some money, got out. Now he's going to watch all this take place and go, glad that wasn't me up there. And then going back to the Veep thing, it did bring that whole show brought up an interesting concept. And a lot of it was based on like the jealousy of a vice president of the president.
Yeah.
Like, what's the Veep doing? What, you're going to give me some stupid projects to work on that don't mean anything and all that.
It's a total jobber job.
Yeah, it's a jobber job. And I'm thinking to myself, like, Kamala Harris, she's been getting jobbed out this whole term. I feel she's gotten jobbed out.
Oh, yeah.
Now, to that credit, I don't think she should be doing anything, right? She should be on the sidelines. Don't get me wrong, but boy, I've never heard less about a VP in a very long time.
Heard less? You mean you hear about her? They make fun of her a lot.
They make fun of her,
but you mean like her doing it?
Yeah, nothing of like substance.
Well, it's just a clip of her babbling incoherently.
Yes, or her dancing, and then the world moves on.
And she cackled.
Yeah,
but she does. It is amazing. Like she just talks nonsense. I mean, there's no, I don't give a shit whether she's a good vice president or who she is. I just listen to those clips and go, what the fuck is she saying?
Yeah, it is a giant word salad.
And she says nothing. It's a big circle around word salad. And it's like, how did she get where she got? Was she, does anybody know?
You see, Mike, how you get where you go is by getting there and being there, you see. That's the stuff, and
that's the exact stuff.
Leaves your brain in this sort of weird pretzel state, and you're going, I know she didn't say anything, but how can I tell her that she didn't say anything? How can I make it abundantly clear that you're making no sense?
I think she goes on her spiel, and while the people are going, she just exits the room, and she got away with it again. And they're like, "What?" Everybody's like, "What did she say? Did she say something? I don't think she did. Did she get us again? She got us again." Good job. That's how she got the job. That was her audition. She said, "You want me to talk nonsense? Listen to this shit."
She is good at it.
She is good.
It's terrible nonsense.
But how you got to think fast on your feet to make a word salad of nonsense that somewhat makes sense, coherently. Doesn't necessarily make a point, but it like the verbs and the nouns are in the right place.
If she was a wrestler and she had to cut a promo, at the end of the promo, the wrestler, her opponent, would be like, "So are we wrestling or not? Like, what happened here?"
And that's when she hits him with a metal
Yeah,
chair.
boom, out of nowhere.
Kamala Harris is the bomb. Kamala Harris for president.
No,
I want to see her negotiating with Putin.
Oh my God, Putin would be so frustrated.
Maybe she'd win him over with her word salad.
It's just a giant.
Toss that salad, Kamala.
Dude, you know what word I hate more than anything? Again, going back to just listening to the news on the way here. The word nothing burger.
Oh, that's a bad one.
I don't even know where that popped up from. It doesn't seem like it's generations old. It appeared like in the last, I would say, 5 or 6 years. And the first time I heard it, I was like, ew. Well, that's not going to last long. I mean, clearly this is not going to catch on. And here we are years later, and they're still saying, it appears to be a nothing burger. Ugh.
Man, I'm going to make a confession to you.
Don't say
I'm going to make a confession that I, too, have your disdain for nothing bird. But it's been in the lexicon so long that a couple of weeks ago, I actually used nothing bird. I don't know why. And when I said it, I left a bad taste in my mouth.
You got to get rid of that one.
Yeah, no, I'm not using it again. It just threw it out there.
Like slipped out.
It's the Epstein client list.
Oh, well, I imagine it's probably a big nothing burger, Mike.
Was a nothing burger. Nobody's ever gonna go to jail. If you're rich, if you're that rich and that powerful, you can do whatever you want. You can have sex with as many underage people as you want, and they could even come out with it that you probably did. I mean, we got you like halfway there, 80% there, or in the Prince Andrew case, they got him like 100% there.
Pictures,
and
he's sweating up a storm,
and he's fine. He paid some money. Here, here's 500 million, and go away.
What did I was reading an article of the Ghislaine, whatever, however you want to. Ghislaine Maxwell.
Ghislaine.
She's apparently furiously writing this book that to give her
exonerates her.
Yeah,
miraculously.
And I'm just looking at this article about her writing this book, and I'm going, okay, in what world is this book going to go straight from her in jail and just get published immediately without any interference from anyone who in power around the world? Like, she's just going to go, here's my novel. I would appreciate if you printed it as is. Don't change a thing. Yeah. It would never go down like that.
It would never go down like that. And I think if she named names, like, well, for one thing, they'd kill her. I think she knows that. And for one thing, they just to call the publisher and say, hey, you better give us a copy of that, and we're gonna proofread it and change all the names and do all that.
Yep.
And you wouldn't get the real story. You're not getting the real story on stuff like that ever again. Even if you ever did, we still can't get the real story in the Kennedy assassination,
which is bonkers.
I mean, and you see that you live in a perpetual lie, of the government covering up their own lies from 60 years ago, and they'll never stop lying. And people can say, like you can have journalists going now, JFK was assassinated by the CIA. We pretty much figured that out now, and it's out there. And are you we're gonna riot because JFK was killed by the CIA? No, we're just like, yeah. Nobody's but most people wouldn't even believe it. They still won't believe that the government does shit like that.
Well, the fact of the matter is, it's believable, but it shouldn't be. It should be. It should be totally unbelievable, right? It should be like like you said, like the dumb person out there going, no, that didn't happen. No, that's in reality the way it should be. Is like, no, that can't happen. Like, why would they do that? But instead,
CIA is looking out for us. They're not trying to assassinate our own government.
Right.
That's what you would. Yeah. But you're like, well, yeah, you could, even if you believe it's not true, you're kind of like, well, weighing the evidence, probably not. But it should be the furthest thing in your mind that could actually happen.
Yeah. Instead, it's the most plausible explanation.
Most plausible explanation. They say, they say the Zapruder film, was fake. So, that was another smoke screen. So, see, like, but you don't know. You don't know if the Zapruder film was real or if it was,
It's very easy for them to just say, nope, fake. It's same thing with Trump, right? I mean, let's be fair.
I think we're getting political.
Oh, no. Damn it. I didn't mean to be political.
I think we both in on it.
Well, now that we're dug in.
Just hanging.
Yeah, just hanging out. Just having some fun.
Every once in a while it gets down to
This is our idea of fun. But,
with Trump.
You could say the same thing because you could have all this evidence in the world and he would just go, fake.
It's fake news.
Fake news. And how are you going to comment? No, it's not. It's right here. Fake. Well, that's that. Argument's over.
And maybe, you see, Trump could be fake as well. And maybe he introduced that because they do things intentionally.
Yeah.
The government, like conspiracy theory was the CIA put it out there so that nobody would believe the people who knew the truth, So fake news, Trump put it out there. And now the news is fake. It's a lot. I mean, and then you got the AI and the deep fakes are going to be out of this world. And I don't think we can even have a fair election with the new AI stuff that's going to be coming out. So
poor Taylor Swift getting those deep fakes.
What do you expect?
Making her look all nasty.
I'm surprised.
She's an angel.
So why hasn't there been every Hollywood starlet deep faked, AI'd to the max already?
I'm sure there probably have been plenty, right? But she's just a hot ticket at the moment.
But you think that'd be big news? It's like, have you seen the video of Angelina Jolie sucking 48 guys off? And it's like you're like, that's Angelina. That would be like somebody would be reporting that, and the deep fake of Angelina Jolie.
Yeah,
gang banging 48 men.
Dude,
I don't know what's good.
It's coming. It's coming,
but what?
And I'm waiting.
But the scams are coming too.
Sure.
I mean,
and then
nothing. You think nothing's real now?
Oh, it's gonna get bananas, and then
get bananas.
It's gonna get bananas.
That's a big nothing burger, bro.
Things are about to get bananas.
That's a good word.
Bring
it back. Let's bring bananas.
Bananas. The whole thing's bananas.
Let's change the name of the show. See, the hang, it's cool and everything. Yeah, maybe it's a little too hip for the room. Maybe just bananas with Mike and Matt. See, I'm telling you, put that on Spotify and see the hits you get.
Hey, we're doing well on Spotify.
Are we?
Audience still 100% male, but the downloads and the streams keep on flowing.
Damn.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
100% man. It's dude radio, man.
Yeah.
Dude radio.
This is what we do.
That's bananas.
BANANAS. Yeah, the deep fake stuff, I can totally see it 10 years from now where everybody's going to have to pay for their own identification, and it'll be a monthly fee built in, and that fee will somehow guarantee that you will not be deep faked or you can debunk it easily because it's coming from your verified account. But you need a verified account across all platforms, like some sort of universal verified account.
But Matt, it doesn't matter if you can debunk it, but for the 48 hours that you were on the internet blowing a horse, that's all people see for now on. You're like deep fake. I had it removed. It was deep fake. It was god awful, Matt.
Yeah,
you really seemed to enjoy blowing that horse. See,
no, you're right.
It's all bad.
And
unplug the internet right now and save the world.
Well, to be fair, I kind of wouldn't mind seeing some deep fakes of my favorite celebrities also. So I would also be guilty of that. Not in that horse scenario, mind you.
You're the one. I've only seen one horse video in my whole life, and Matthew showed it to me. But Mike, come here.
That's not true.
No, he was in Bubba's office. He's like,
shenanigans.
He's like, I want to show you this thing for tomorrow's show, and he hits the button, and I'm like, oh my god,
that wasn't me.
And I did stare at it for 10 seconds. My god, my lord.
Well, in those days, it took a long time for the screen to load. But I wouldn't mind. Look, if there was a deep fake, my new crush, I guess this is going to be old school. Gina Gershon.
Who's Gina Gershon?
Oh, man.
Gina Gershon.
Yeah, a little bit older.
I don't know who she is.
Older crush. Well, I don't know how to explain it. She's an actress.
Oh, okay.
She's just an old, I say older,
She's old.
but
She's old now, or
yeah, she's probably mid-60s. I mean, she's not like a young starlet.
You're crushing on her in her past iteration.
No, I'd crush on her now.
No. I mean, you that's your crush. Is her young, right?
No, I would
like
take her.
Oh, you like, but
I would take her right now. And if there was a right now Gina Gershon deep fake video of her doing some nasty stuff, but I could buy in and I thought it was her, I'd probably check it out.
You're part of the problem, man.
Yes.
Part of the problem. Man. I thought we were solving problems on this show, man.
Look, I'm a hypocrite. Everybody's a hypocrite. I'd love to see it not happen, but the fact of the matter is, it's going to come fast and furious, and so I might as well check it out before it gets scrubbed. I mean, who's your crush? You don't have a. Come on.
Nah. Well, I haven't had a crush since Tina Fey on 30 Rock.
Okay, there you go. A solid, good, deep fake of Tina Fey comes out. And I send it to you. And I go, Mike, this is Tina Fey having a little relation. You're... And you didn't know any better.
I mean, because that's funny, because, I guess it's probably just a dude thing. But, even men, like anybody you watch on TV, you're like, I wonder how, I can't picture Tina Fey having sex.
Yes.
How does Tina Fey have sex? How does Jerry Seinfeld have sex? What's the deal?
What's the deal? What are we going to do this all night long?
I want a deep of Jerry Seinfeld having sex with Tina Fey.
See, I actually here's what I want to see in reality. But I want the real. I would love to see actual videos of it. All these rappers that all they do is brag on their dick size and how they go all night long and all. I would just love to just see a video of one of these rappers, and it turns out they're just a 2-pump chump, and they're just like, and they do, that Forrest Gump thing where, he touches Jenny's breast and all of a sudden he's over.
I think if you're a rapper nowadays, you're probably doing the Dr. Mark deal and getting all the medications available for you to be a porn star.
Yeah.
So you got a reputation.
Dude, but how great would it be to find out one of these rappers...
50 Cent is a 2-pump chump?
Yeah, wouldn't that be the funniest thing in the world?
It'd be the best thing in the world.
It would be the best.
Drake.
Exactly.
Drake just the Jenny all the time.
Yeah. Oh, Jenny, no.
I would enjoy that.
Yeah.
Johnny Loco subscribed for 57 months. Holy moly.
Johnny!
How time flies. Luis Linares, 40 months. Appreciate that, Luis. Woo! When we come back, we're going to stay on the same subject. Have you hear about Dave Canales, the coach for the Buccaneers?
I read a little bit about it today, but not too much.
It's not the kind of thing you usually read about a head coach.
Yeah. Well, we can touch on that for sure. If you are thinking about downloading the show, do so.
Yes, please.
Do so on Spotify, TuneIn, Apple, Google Play, all the stuff. Just search The Hang, and it should hopefully populate and pop up and follow us and all that stuff, right?
As well on YouTube or live on Twitch every Wednesday night.
That's right. Check us out.
Let's take a quick break. My drink is dry.
Let's do it.
Okay. Oh, let me see. I was gonna play something, and I done forgot what I was gonna play. Let me see if
you got
darn it all.
You got new bits?
Darn it! No, no. Let's see what I got. It seemed like it was something about what we were talking about. No. Oh, now we got a vortex.
I do know that there's Valentine's Days right around the corner.
Oh my God!
And I do love Happy Valentine's Day. You whore.
Oh, that's true.
That is one of the best ones. That's like second to Christmas gives me a heart on. Like that Ned song, and then the Happy Valentine's Day, you whore is a great one. Again, I don't know if you got it, but
I do got it, and it is one of my favorites as well.
nice.
We met on the side of a mountain, my only true Valentine. It's been 25 years and counting. I can't get her out of my mind, but now I just can't swallow my pride. I don't feel the same anymore. I feel something inside me has died since I caught her screwing the black guy next door. I don't love you anymore. Happy Valentine's Day, you whore. We met on the side of a mountain, my only true Valentine. It's been 25 years and counting. I can't get her out of my mind, but now things aren't the same, and I know who's to blame. She can't quit spreading her legs. She banged my best friend Roy, then she blew the bag boy. Now there's just one thing I want to say. I don't love you anymore. Happy Valentine's Day, you whore. I don't love you anymore. Happy Valentine's Day, you whore. You took our love and you tore it apart. Now I'll take this pickaxe and rip out your heart. I don't love you anymore. Happy Valentine's Day, you whore. Met on the side of a mountain, my only true Valentine. I killed her.
They ain't listening.
Happy Valentine's Day, whore.
Anyway, so fuck them. They don't have a sense of humor. Better not fuck me, you two. I give up. Politicians bring me down. These guys all suck. A bunch of crooked fucking clowns. They all blow. And it's time to get real. I'm sick of Joe Biden eating oatmeal. Well, aren't you sick of people whining about Trump and saying he is so mean? He looks like a tangerine, and he might grab your pussy. Oh, might as well Trump. Might as well Trump. I vote for Trump. I don't give a fuck. Whoa, fuck your MAGA hat. That's a fucking sin. We don't want no one in the Oval Office who's got orange skin. Well, can't you see I love these assholes, but both parties are all on the same team. It's all a fucking routine. It's all a fucking smoke fucking karaoke noodle. Woo! I don't give a fuck. Woo! Eddie Van Halen came to David Lee Roth and said, let's do a song with keyboards. And Dave said, no, but Eddie did it anyway. Keyboard solo. Keyboard solo. Let's get on with it, boys. I gotta take a piss. Bring it down, bring it down. Is that the end? Are we done? Very professional show. Come back. Oh, comes back. Shut the fuck.
How great would it be if you were in the actual band and you're like,
home.
just gotta wrap it up.
Let's piss some more people off. Wrap it up. Wrap it up, boys. Quit noodling, Eddie.
Yeah. Or the drummer, you always give him the drummer like that 5 minutes.
Everybody's gotta go take a piss. I think, welcome back to the hang. I think all drum solos were invented. The drum solo was invented so the band could go take a piss.
I never even thought of that until now.
But you know, the band always is like, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
Let him do his thing for 5 minutes.
But when does he get a chance to pee? Like the drummers.
The drummer, they wet their pants. They just they're drummers, man.
They
piss in a bottle back there. They really had a bunch of drums.
I couldn't imagine being a drummer. What a gig.
I can't even. Just the thought of doing like 4 things at once, with your feet. You got your feet. I can't even imagine.
Yeah,
imagine.
And then those metal drummers, like the hardcore. I don't even know. I was remember I met the drummer for Slayer. I can't remember his name. I don't know.
I do not know the drummer for Slayer.
Nice guy.
But I imagine he drummed very fast.
He was a nice guy. We were just chilling, and he was catching a plane back to L.A. and he's like, "Man, I wish I had a cookie or a brownie or something." I'm like, "I got one. You want me to go get you one?" He's like, "Dude, if you did, that would be amazing." So I ran home.
Friend for life.
We exchanged text the numbers and stuff like that. He landed, and then he texted me a while later. He's like, "Dude," it sent him, to the moon. But anyways, yeah.
Yeah, that's the best way to fly. Best way to fly.
Now
flying sucks. So
yeah, it does. With the powerful stuff now, you gotta. I don't know.
I'm jaded.
Be careful.
I didn't used to be a pothead.
So Donna said that one of the folks on Twitch at like the beginning of the show had asked a question, and rarely do we do as much of the looking at chat and interacting as we probably should.
Yeah, I mean to.
Yeah, just not that easy. But I guess he was asking about the John Rocker thing that I did back in the day, and asking if it was real or not. The John Rocker hotel room incident. Okay. So
I remember it well.
I do too. And let me see if we remember it the same way.
I'm fascinated.
Okay, so the whole idea was John Rocker was in town, and John Rocker was the baseball guy, real controversial,
he said some stuff.
Dick bag,
he said some stuff in New York about gays and
Jewish folks.
He was.
So of course I was sent to his hotel to razz him and all that stuff. So I rapped on the door of the hotel, and he opens the door, and in this weird voice goes, "I'll get out of here," something like that, and slammed the door.
Yeah.
The real story is that was just Manson in the office. There was nothing real about that bit at all. I knocked on, I pretended I was at the hotel, knocked on Mike's production door, and you had this terrible John Rocker accent. I
didn't claim to be a John Rocker impersonator, but I was like, you're John Rocker, and then fight you. I was like, all right.
The bit went off good, though.
I think it did. I think it did go off. We pulled it off good.
That was a good theater of the mind one. Good. That I didn't even really. It's not something. I'm glad they jogged my memory on it, because it's not something that I think about.
I don't even remember stuff like that. But once I'm reminded of it.
Yeah.
I think it was like you were supposed to play the John Rocker song
That's where it was.
in the
yeah.
hallway of his hotel room or something, and I came out and I was like, "Baby."
You had like this nasally thing or
I
something.
can't remember my John Rocker accent.
Yeah, but no, fake. It was definitely fake. That was good theater of the mind. Again, I go back to there's theater of the mind and there's lying to your audience. That
agree.
falls under the theater of the mind banner.
Yeah.
Some of the other stuff that's happened in the past. That's just straight lying to your audience. Yeah.
I mean, we did, like, most of the stuff was real on the show. I would say most of it was real. And then we had, about 40-50% of fakery.
Well, that's 50% of it not being real then.
Maybe 40%. Most of it was real. Yeah.
God, there was a lot of fake stuff.
Yeah.
But again, it falls under I think it started off as falling under the umbrella of theater of the mind, and then it got more fake with just straight, like, untruths.
Yeah.
As opposed to, like, funny bits.
I mean, why would it be? I mean, he was a guy, like, who would show up to work with an IV bag attached to himself, in one of those little IV things, and say, yeah, I couldn't do whatever he was required to do to not lose the bet because I had to go to the hospital.
Yeah, and I told him to take his Band-Aid off, and he didn't even have a mark there, and he was lying about it. Yeah. Yeah, that's what I mean. Those are just straight lies and no excuse for it. But the theater of the mind stuff was always fun.
He pulled it off pretty well. The people always, everybody would always come up and go, was that thing with Matt, at the hotel jumping into the pool real?
Nope.
And I'd go, no, it's not.
No.
I was the worst liar. Is Ned real? I don't know. It's me.
It was me. It's me all along. Man, speaking of John Rocker baseball, I was going into, like, my algorithm lately has been a lot of, like, baseball stuff for some reason.
Sorry to hear that.
I know. Weird, like, random fun plays or whatever. And two things that stick with me. One, Nolan Ryan is a badass.
Yeah, he is.
Like, was a badass and is a badass. Like, they had him throwing out a first pitch. I don't know how many years ago it was, but he was like 63 or something.
Yeah, he's old as dirt.
Dude, he zinged that thing in there. Like,
it looked high 80s to me.
oh my God.
I mean, it
looked unhittable.
I mean, like, right across the plate, just popped that catcher's glove.
Yeah.
He's a badass. Nolan Ryan was a badass.
Yes, that was my first takeaway. Is Nolan Ryan's a badass. My second takeaway from the videos I've watched is Randy Johnson was a badass. And there was a few videos, but the one that really that sticks out to me is when he hit the bird. I mean, not that he was aiming for it. The bird got in the way of his pitch, but he decimated that pitch.
Obliterated it.
Just feathers everywhere, which I don't know.
Randy Johnson, I just read this, allegedly said that he kept a bucket of balls by his bed. He said he didn't own a gun. He didn't own a gun. He keeps a bucket, and he said, he's going to wing him at the gun. Can you imagine you're a criminal, all of a sudden you get 103 mile an hour baseballs winged at you? Probably more accurate than a gun.
Well,
in that situation.
If I was Randy Johnson, I would go ahead and do both, right? Like, hey, sure, we'll have the bucket of balls there, but let's also have a gun, just to make sure everything's going to be safe.
In news tonight, Randy Johnson was murdered in his bed as he tried to fend off the criminal with a bucket of baseballs and was shot repeatedly.
just missing him. Damn it. So close.
Nice try, Randy.
You were talking about coaches.
Canales. I got the
story.
story.
You were talking about Dave Canales.
Dave Canales is
who my wife thinks he's hot.
He's a reasonably attractive man.
He is. I'll give it to him.
So Dave Canales was the offensive coordinator for the Buccaneers, and now he's the head coach for the what is it?
Panthers?
Yeah, the Panthers. Was it Charlotte? What was it? North Carolina Panthers? Carolina Panthers.
Yeah.
Carolina Panthers. And I guess it's just coming out. It was already new. It wasn't news before. He just had this book
that nobody gave a shit about. But it says, new Panthers head coach Dave Canales revealed scandalous details about his infidelity, pornography addiction, and binge drinking in a book he co-authored with his wife 16 months ago. He co-authored with his wife. Hey, honey, you want in on this?
Oh my God.
Yeah, let's write about it together, shall we, Dave?
Yes. Oh my God. The 42-year-old who said he no longer drinks and is not addicted to pornography, and his wife detailed how their Christian roots helped them save their marriage and family. I was living a secret life, Canales wrote. No matter how hard I tried by going to church, reading my Bible, and praying, I always had a secret dark place.
Still liked porn.
I still like cheating and jacking off.
My addiction to jacking off was insane.
7 times a day.
I'm going to write a book about how much I jacked off.
Need more and more.
Hey, honey, you want to write this book with me about how much I jacked off?
I sure do.
All right, come on. This will serve us well in the future.
Oh, I guess so far it's served him well. He fessed up. He said that he wrote the book to help other couples struggling with marriage.
Oh, okay. It's one of those.
Yeah, they also, let's see. Let me get to some of these details.
Well, hold on. A porn addict.
Yes, he was.
What does that mean? I mean, there's a lot of guys out there that watch adult content. Where does it draw the line that you're an addict? Like, how does that work?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what the parameters are.
Well, I'm not Googling it. It's not going under my algorithm, my friend.
I mean, I think I am one of the few men.
Oh, no. Don't say it.
I'm going to say it. A few men in the world who does not watch pornography.
Oh, you're definitely one of the few men in the world that
I
does
think
not.
I am.
Yeah.
And look,
I thought you were going to say you never watched it, but
No, I mean, look. When I was a teenager, man, I couldn't wait for my parents to leave the house so I could find
That's
my
right.
dad's porn.
That's right.
But
yeah.
I don't know. It's been a long time, and I just don't want. I don't have any real reason. It doesn't make me feel. It doesn't make me feel good to watch it. It feels like it's just there's like the women in pornography are not happy people. They're really not enjoying that 13-inch thing there. It's all I just don't watch it, and I just make a conscious effort. Like there'll be on Twitter and there'll be a porn link. I'm like, nope.
Yeah.
Got to make that decision. Nope. Don't watch it anymore.
And it's
been a
everywhere.
long time.
Like even if you're just a casual viewer on X, aka Twitter, whatever, just casually scrolling, it's hard to avoid pornography.
Maybe that probably helps me out because on my algorithm, there's almost never any porn.
Oh, really?
Almost ever. I mean, talking about ever.
Wow.
Occasionally, I'll go into like the comments of a post.
Okay.
And in the comments, somebody will have posted some porn. But in my algorithm, I never see porn. So that's why it's easier. See, because I don't watch it.
Well,
that's why I don't get the algorithm.
Let's see what this Dave Canales guy does when he's a head coach and he starts having to be more active on social media and he starts getting hit with an algorithm.
Can you imagine his algorithm? He was addicted to it.
Addicted.
So he's getting into some deep, dark stuff.
Man.
He said Canales wrote in the book about how he finally made some dark confessions about his infidelity. So not only did he watch porn and drink, he was a cheater as well.
And this is when he was a young man?
I mean, it has to be because,
What's he now, 42?
He's 42, and he's been with the Bucks a while. So he wrote it 16 months ago, so he's probably in his 30s. A huge part in the severed intimacy that I was experiencing with my wife was because I was addicted to pornography. So he was so addicted to porn, he wasn't have sex with his wife. So he was jacking off a lot.
That's, man.
It was like a gateway drug for me, creating pathways in my brain that
Porn was?
Yes. Creating pathways in my brain that allowed me to use sex coldly for my own benefit. It was a secret, silent struggle that I had for years before I was married.
Porn? I thought it's just something that, people look at and they move on.
Well, maybe he was like just...
Unless he's like internalizing it.
I think he was just banging like every girl he could.
Oh, okay,
Maybe that. I don't know. He also wrote about he cheated on Lizzie one month before they were married. It usually doesn't work out too well.
It's working out for him. They wrote a book together on it, so he's proving everyone wrong.
It says the Panthers knew about the book, before they hired him. Now, I'd like to know how long ago this was, because you've got alcohol, you've got pornography, you've got infidelity. This guy's a powder keg. As a head coach, you're investing millions into this guy and hoping that he doesn't start drinking and banging other chicks and doing and watching porn instead of watching film.
Well, that or Mike, he's a very relatable coach to his players.
Yeah, it's true.
There's...
I really respect that Canales guy.
Right. He's just like us.
He's a porn.
Me, you, Sam.
Yeah, alcohol, porn, cheat. Yeah.
I mean, that team bus is going to be a blast. Yeah, I don't know.
The film rooms are all watching porn.
Yeah.
A reporter breaks in and everybody's like, "Oh no, get him out!" We weren't watching the Browns defense. We were watching Gangbangers 3.
Who is the coach? I mean, it's not like these coaches are saints, right? Like, the only decent individual that I could name off the top of my head, and I don't even know how true it is, would be a Tony Dungy, right? Tony Dungy always seemed like a God-fearing, just a decent person. I'm sure there's others I can't,
Those are the worst kind.
They're the worst kind, but
No, because they're usually fake.
Well, it would disappoint me to find out Tony Dungy
was it banging chicks on the side.
That would be a little disappointing.
Yeah, I bet he is. Go ahead.
But
he was a real God-fearing man.
But then there's the other coaches. Who was the one that had the foot fetish? What was
Rex
it?
Ryan. Rex Ryan in New York.
That guy just seemed off the rails.
I
like
Rex Ryan.
He was like sucking tootsies in a parking lot of some strange woman or something, right? Like, it was a weird foot fetish thing.
I thought it was his wife, and I thought that.
Oh, that's not so bad.
I thought I thought he posted it.
He posted him.
I thought. I'm not sure.
Licking her tootsies.
Yeah. It almost. Yeah.
Well, then,
Rex Ryan.
Okay,
he was off? He thought out of the box.
Yeah, does that, like, people really looked at him though like that was a weird, freakish kind of thing, right? The whole Tootsie fetish.
Yeah, sucking on toes.
And looking back on it, it's a little odd, but or is it? Is that even a big deal? Because, like, it's not.
I don't care if my.
It's not perverse in the classical sense.
I've never tried sucking on toes, and maybe I'll try sucking on Donna's toes now.
Yeah, I'll see how that goes over. I don't want to be a fly on the wall. I mean, but I kind of would like to know. She would be like, Mike, what the hell are you doing?
I could not suck on her toes with a straight face.
It would be.
I could not. I mean, there's no way. I'm all sexy.
Real start on the small toe. Move my way over to the other toe.
This little piggy.
This little piggy goes in my mouth.
How do you do that? I don't think you can do that sexy as a.
Well, my
as a woman, you could suck on a guy's toes, and he didn't care. He'd be going, yes, yeah. But as a guy, you look like more of a weirdo.
I just don't get it because it's not like an erogenous zone, right? I mean, it's a foot, it's a tootsie. So, like, who's it benefiting? In a sexual scenario, the woman's not gonna go crazy off of it, right? Because it's not a pleasure zone.
Maybe if you deep throat a toe, it's like hot. Take all that toe. Oh, she gets to feel like a man. Toe, can you?
I don't get the foot fetish thing.
No, I don't get it at all.
There's an armpit licking fetish too.
I mean, I can only imagine, like, Pornhub, the categories is there like
it's bananas, Mike.
It's banana.
It's banana. That's actually a category.
I guarantee if you went up banana porn, you guys are putting it up the butt, girls are doing it in the snap.
Somebody dressed like a banana. There's
banana
everything.
blowing. I guarantee, right? Dressed like a banana.
Oh yeah, the categories, Mike. I mean, I know you haven't looked at it lately.
Lots? Are there lots?
There is so many categories. It's the equivalent of going to as a kid of going to the library and be like, I need to find a book on this, and you go, oh, they actually have a book on this. It's that sort of level of indexing and categorizing.
I bet it would boggle the mind.
It would
boggle the mind.
It would be it would.
I believe Pornhub was in a lot of trouble because they really don't worry too much about the underage porn.
Oh no.
Yeah, and they were making a lot of money off of underage porn. Then that story kind of died because pedophiles run the world. So moving right along, Pornhub.
I didn't know
I
that.
think so. I haven't seen it. It's been a while because I haven't seen the story because I was kind of following it, and then it went away because they paid somebody off.
Well, I personally haven't looked at adult content in a very long time. Kind of like you, right, Mike? And so I wouldn't know what's going on there either. Like you, Mike.
I know. That's where we have a brother. We have a brotherhood.
Yeah.
We've got a pack.
I don't know how long I could go.
I got good willpower, man. When that's a lot. It's been probably, I can't even remember, 15 years, probably 15 years.
Really?
20 years. And I never watched it like what. I haven't watched porn since I was probably back at the Power Pig because, there was no computers. There was no phones to watch porn in when I was in my first years of marriage. And this is the Power Pig. Mark Chase would get a porn and I'd sit in a room full of dudes and watch a porno.
Come on, guys. Let's all watch this porno together.
And then I come home and tell my wife, she's like, that's weird. What are you doing that for?
It is weird. It really is. Yeah, that is super weird.
It is weird.
Yeah.
Looking back on it, it's like, that's weird.
Looking back on it, too.
Why do you want to watch porn with another guy?
When I was a teenager, we would all, if somebody had a VCR tape.
Well, if you're a teenager, you're just happy that you're getting to see a porn.
You're happy.
You have no choice but to watch it with five other dudes.
Well, that's the thing. But can I get why am I here? Like, yes, we're watching this, but why does it all have to be in the same room? I don't know.
Doing your boys a solid. Hey, I found a tape.
They probably should, maybe it needs to be, probably was better if it would have been treated like a library back in the day.
What
like pornography?
You had to go to the library, or
no? If you had a library way back in the day like that, because if you were a teenage boy, you're just scrambling around to find snippets and whatever you can get your
desperately,
desperately, as opposed to doing it the other way of going, hey, look, maybe there's nothing wrong with it per se, and if you're into that sort of thing, maybe we have some sort of softer way of introducing you to it besides health class with the condom over the banana.
You're saying no one provides an outlet for teenage boys.
Well, it sounds bad when you put it like that.
Who need to masturbate.
Well, now I'm hearing it back, it doesn't sound great.
They should have, have you seen the neighborhoods where there'll be a little, a very small bookcase kind of thing, and it's a repository for books.
Yes,
that anybody can go.
You borrow a book.
Borrow the book. I mean, what about for teenage boys? Down by the creek, shouldn't there be a repository of porn?
Yes,
for young?
And right next to the creek, there's 3 older gentlemen waiting to see which boy is going to take the. That would also be a repository for pedos. So the whole idea, scrap the whole idea. It doesn't.
Yeah, I mean, when I was 14 or 15, I found out my parents had some porn. I mean, I was, they would leave the house, I would ransack their bedroom, and then I'd have to call, and then when they came out, I had to say the FBI came over and searched the entire house. I was just like, where's the porn? Where's the porn? This not in this drawer, not in this, and you think as a 14-year-old you're putting stuff back the way it was. You're not in your mom's underwear drawer. You're like, where's that? There was a porn pamphlet in here last week.
Pamphlet.
That's they would get it in the mail and they would have to send off. This is old school. 70s.
Yep.
And they'd have to, and they get 8 millimeter. Is it 8 millimeter? The film Super 8.
Yeah, I remember you telling me.
On a projector.
And then you would,
crazy.
when your parents left, you'd set up the projector. And,
Yeah, I felt like a real dirtbag. I felt afterwards, after the remorse.
Yeah.
You're like, well, I feel so dirty now. And I watch my parents porn and look at me now.
Well, plus you had to do a whole cleanup. Like these days now, to their benefit, like you just X out. All you have to do is just hit an X.
Yeah.
You had to go through a thing of going, I've got to put the projector back.
It's the walk of shame. It's the walk of shame.
Yeah, you had a real production thing going on.
Sure, it's on. But where the doors closed, the keys back.
What about those theaters? Are the theaters still around? The adult theaters,
like the Todd Theater.
But the Todd is actually to the Todd's credit.
It's an institution.
It is an institution.
It's been around forever.
But I don't think they're doing that. Like I don't
think they are.
It's more like highbrow sort of. Hey, couples, come in, get your toys, lingerie, all that. Like I think they've sort of turned the tide a bit.
Look at it on Nebraska and Fletcher.
It's an institution. You can't just move the location now.
Couples are welcome. Please
step right in. Well, I mean, but the real grimy ones, like I don't view the Todd. I mean, I haven't been there in God knows how long. I think I did a gig there like 20 years ago or something.
Yeah.
But I don't view that as. I'm talking about the grimy ones. Are the grimy ones still around?
I don't see a lot of them, but I don't know if I drive in the right neighborhoods.
That's true too.
Maybe they're in the really, or maybe I think with internet porn.
They've got to be shutting down, right?
Yeah, because I mean, like, real homeless people have freaking phones now. I don't know how they do it, but homeless people have iPhones. I don't think there's a lot of people who need to go. And boy, if you're like one of those guys who likes to jack off in public, they took that away from you.
Not really. You can just do it wherever you'd like. But yeah, I hear
be
you.
able to go jack off at the. I don't think they have. I don't know.
Should they set up designated areas throughout little hot spots?
They should. Like you were saying, for like teenagers should have access to some form of material so they can facilitate their needs. In a perfect world where the government doesn't steal 34 trillion of your dollars, if you're a quadriplegic and you can't get it, maybe you're just an ugly dude, you can't get a date, you should be able to go down and fill out a form and say, I cannot have sex, and they'll send a girl to your house and she'll have sex with you. What if you've got cerebral palsy?
They've got
but
escorts
you can get
for
an
that.
erection.
They got escorts,
but it's illegal. It's illegal. It should be illegal.
I don't know if anybody are they still cracking down on that though. I mean,
I don't know. You don't hear about that a lot.
With the Tinders,
the internet, they gave up.
Yeah, with like the Tinders of the world and all those apps. Like I think they just sort of let it go.
And that would be a good thing because they need like concentrate like Grady Judd does. Like he does the stings for the kids.
Yeah,
and that's what you should do. I don't give a shit who's sleeping with who and who's paying money to have who. As long as you're 18 and over.
Yeah, 18 and up. It's not
trafficking. I'm totally cool with it. And let's just get the pedophiles off the street. Dave Canales also wrote about how he cheated on Lizzie 1 month before they were married. He admitted having multiple affairs. And he first cheated on his wife at his bachelor party.
And she co-wrote this book, huh?
Man, she co-wrote the book, and they're still married. Boy, he might. Yeah, I bet he's under the thumb now.
What do you mean under the thumb of her?
Yeah, I don't think you can do all this and then not be under the thumb. Yeah, who could trust this guy?
Well,
he's a ticking time bomb.
or he's a head coach and he's getting paid a lot of money, and she's like, all right, cool. I'm living that life now. So,
or she's like, I'm gonna keep living this life. I gotta watch this guy like a hawk. He's got a track record.
Yeah,
and he's $1 million baby.
$1 million baby.
No, he's probably 10. I don't know how much the coaches make.
Couldn't tell you.
8. 5,
no clue.
10. He's making millions.
Yes, for sure.
For sure. So that's quite an investment. What I never understood was guys who would cheat on their wives at the bachelor party. It's like, I think you're going to cheat on your wife again.
No, it was just at the bachelor party.
It's like
so the last hurrah.
It's like, were you cheating on her during your, on the whole lead up to the bachelor, you were faithful to your girlfriend until you decide to get married, and then right before you get married, you're gonna bang another chick. I never quite understood that.
My bachelor party, it was so lame. It was just a bunch of just a few dudes, and we had almost it was like a timeshare thing in Orlando, and we went to Benihana and drank sake. And then went back to the house and listened to prank phone calls, and passed out like.
It's a good time.
To me, it seemed perfectly normal. And then I tell other people, they're like, "What'd you do for your bachelor party?" I tell them, and they're like, "No, you didn't." Like I'm like, "No, that's what I did." It seems so corny. It seems childish.
It's the best thing to do, though. I did the same thing too, Matt.
And we haven't watched adult content in 15 or 20 years.
Actually, my bachelor party, we just had a party together. Like we don't do the nonsense now. With the bachelor, like everybody's they got to do a whole bunch of stuff. Everybody gets together, especially the females. They got a whole weekend and stuff. We just said, let's have a party at a friend's house and have some drinks.
That's the way to do it. These females now, they're out of control. You see these bachelorette parties roaming around the streets, and just everything is shaped like a penis. Like everything. They've spent hundreds, if not thousands of dollars on penis-shaped everything.
Because they know that in a mere matter of days, they will not have to deal with the penis ever again once they're married.
It still doesn't explain why they have to have like a rope of dicks around their neck and then go to clubs and...
Because they're whores, man.
Damn it. I should have known that was the answer.
Dave Canales, it gets worse.
Oh.
He says, from the start of our relationship, I was binge drinking. It's like...
What is binge drinking qualify as?
I think this girl's a rube. I think, he was probably hitting it hard.
Or, okay, or has she co-wrote the book in such a manner that she's going, hey, man, play on the weakness, dude. You weren't having a couple drinks. Dave, you were binging. You were binge drinking, and you didn't watch a little bit. You were addicted to porn. Like, it's almost you take the opposite approach and just go all in, right? And he might be thinking, I wasn't really binge drinking. I was just having a couple drinks. But if you write a book, you got to make it.
You got to sell it.
You got to sell it.
It's true.
So you might as well
sell it. Yeah, you got to embellish.
You might as well binge.
You got to embellish.
You didn't watch a little adult content. You were addicted.
I think this guy's a mess.
So
he's gonna flame out in the NFL.
You think?
I have no idea. He looks like a good guy on the sidelines.
He looks the part.
Before I was ever unfaithful to her, I was already there in my mind. So he pre-planned the infidelity. He's like, I'm gonna cheat on this girl.
And then she helps him write the book about it.
Bad habits combined with addiction made it hard for me to resist temptation. See, there you go, Matt.
Was he in the league?
Books. No, I don't know.
Because, like, where did he come from?
I don't know.
Usually these coaches have some sort of history in the league, except for, I think, that Miami Dolphins coach. I don't know where that pipsqueak came from, but I love him.
He was in that guy's he's out of the box.
Yeah.
This guy was in Seattle for like 7 or 8 years.
Okay.
With the Seahawks. So I don't know what happened before that. I don't know. He doesn't look like a player.
He had a bird watching fetish.
He doesn't look like that. I'd like to know. I bet some people in Seattle got some stories about Dave Canales.
He used to hang out at all the Starbucks.
Seemed to be able to do the job pretty well there. I guess they were like, hey, he did it in Seattle.
Hey.
It says, when Canales told his parents and parents-in-law of his infidelity, his mother-in-law responded, I never trusted you fully. I've told Lizzie that, and now I know why.
And Lizzie's response was, hey, you want to co-write a book about this?
Yeah, make some money. I think Lizzie is about as observant as a bump on a log. I don't think she. I think all this was going on, and she didn't know that he was a raging alcoholic, porn addicted cheater.
Maybe she doesn't care. Like real talk.
I don't know.
Like maybe she doesn't care.
Making decent money at Seattle. You're making decent money.
Not even from that perspective. I mean, in life, maybe she just doesn't care. There are women out there and men out there where they just don't care.
I think that's only true if you're like, you think this guy is a meal ticket. And so you just deal with the infidelity. I don't know many women who don't care if their husband fucks around on them. I think it's only if they're just like, I got kids and I got a house and he's going to fuck around on me occasionally. I don't think it's ever just like, everybody's jealous, and women are insanely jealous. They don't want you fucking other girls, and then
it's not common, but I've seen both scenarios.
But even like you'll see the swingers.
Yeah.
And the swingers, they're great. They love it. They love it. They love it. They love it. And then they're divorced because you can only take your mate fucking somebody else for so long.
Yeah, but some women just don't want to. Maybe they just don't feel like having sex with their husband. But the husband's like, hey, look, I'm still a man. I still have needs, right? And so I don't want to say bless it, but you're all right with it. Like,
have you been talking to Donna?
A little bit.
That is true. I'm sure there are some people like that. They're like, I don't want to deal with this guy's dick.
And it's probably the same scenario with guys. I mean, there's guys that they're probably on the road, they're traveling, they're working, they're busting their hump,
and they think it's okay for their wives to be banging a dude behind their back?
Well, at the end of the day, when that guy gets home and he's got to rip off his tie at 7 o'clock and deal with 9 kids, and he's probably just like, fine. You know what? Do whatever you want to do. I don't know. I could see it, again, not a common scenario, but I could see it happening.
Jamie the plumber, 1,000 bits.
Jamie!
Woo! Appreciate it, Jamie the plumber. Dave Canales. He says,
"You're really hot on this topic."
Hey, because it's like it's like he seems like such a.
He looks like a pretty boy.
On the sidelines, he looks like a straight-aced, like obsessed with football.
Well,
guy.
he is now. Now he's got a new focus.
They're big, they're very heavy into religion.
That's what it is.
Lizzie Canales asked Dave if he had protected sex during his affairs, and he said yes. Leading to both taking tests that came back negative. Well, they got that going for them. Before I was okay. No. I think we're about to wrap up. He says he's also described himself as a recovering narcissist.
How does that work?
It doesn't work. Once a narcissist, always a narcissist. It doesn't. Well, like if you're a narcissist, you're a narcissist.
Boy, if you're joining this church, whatever church he's in, I don't know what whoever his pastor's got to be like. So let me get this straight. Appreciate you coming in to be a member of our church, but you're a porn addict, a binge drinker, all this stuff. And then, and you're also a narcissist, and you want me to fix you? Like that's a tall order.
Well, the priest. The preacher goes, Dave Canales, NFL coach. That's millions of dollars. Welcome in, son. Welcome in.
Well, I believe his grandfather founded the church, and his father was a pastor, and his brother is a pastor.
Oh, and Dave Canales is a nasty.
Yeah.
And they're probably just like him.
That sounds like more of a cult, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Right.
I do it just like my daddy did it, and just like my daddy's daddy did it.
Right.
See, they just didn't get caught.
Maybe.
Because they're,
So really, he goes to his family's church?
Well, I'm just saying that's what it says. So I assume.
Oh man, these family barbecues have got to be a hoot.
Oh my God.
Where they got the come be a Christian, they all do that. Any guys that cheat, they usually end up going for, now I'm a super Christian, because the wife
Yeah.
makes them do that. Here's what you're going to do if you want to get back with me. You are going to go to church every Sunday. We are going to, because she may have been a super Christian
And that
anyway.
and that just makes the
then-
urges more.
Yeah.
The more,
But you're just-
I can't do anything. I can't wait to watch some pornography.
See, I politely disagree. I think that church is good. Not the
think-
way you're probably taking it. I mean it in more of a way of like it's a good compass to reset.
It's a substitute for your addiction. You substitute your addiction to
One
sex to
addiction
your
to
addiction to Christ.
That's what they do with AA. You substitute that addiction for the addiction of Christ.
Okay, now I'm not talking about substituting.
Okay.
I'm talking about just if you were to go to church to reset every Sunday for an hour and a half, or whatever it is, of just kind of. Now, keep in mind, I haven't done this in years, so I'm not talking from experience, but it seems like a good idea to have somebody go, hey, look, let's love each other. Let's be positive. Let's stay focused. Remember, there's something else out there, and things get better. All that stuff, all the messaging from the churches, right?
Some people need that.
I think that's a positive way of using, whether it's religion or what.
I think when Dave Canales goes to church and he hears that reset that you're talking about, he can go 2 days without cheating on his wife. See, otherwise Monday he's like, you are right. I completely agree with you.
The church thing, I don't know. The religion thing is a little dicey because I don't want to get religious. I don't want to be a religious dude, but I also understand that like, if my wife was hell bent on me going to church every Sunday, I would take that and go, you're right. Let's go reset. But instead we sleep in.
If my wife was helping, I would divorce her. I'm not even fucking kidding, babe. That would be the deal breaker.
I'm not either. If you turned into a Christian, I'd be like,
what do you mean turned into a Christian?
see you later, buddy.
But just from a positivity perspective, not for anything else.
I would meditate
There's
for an
other
hour.
things you could
I would do
do.
anything before going because
Listening to that bullshit.
that's all. It's all fake because they don't really believe what it's all a big business.
All you got to know is the Catholic Church. I mean,
Every church,
that's all
yes.
you got to know.
But I have
To
seen
know that
people become better
religion
people.
I mean, maybe some people need
They
that.
need-
maybe
some people need it.
Maybe that's what I'm
something
saying.
like that, or they can't be good people.
Yeah, I think,
maybe for them that might be a good thing because if they don't have that, then they turn into this. It's like, ooh,
like some weeks I need some churching. I know I need churching, right? And then I don't, and then the weeks go on. I'm like, oh, it's just another week, and you get negative about things and all that. And then I found out this mega church up here. I can't remember the name of it, but one of my daughter's friends was like, I got to go to church, and
Idlewild.
well, I'm not going to mention the name of it, but
I don't know.
they
Amazing.
we were like, oh man, they go there every weekend or whatever, and she was like, no, we watch it at home. They stream it,
Yeah.
and I'm going,
we gotta watch
that's,
that.
That's not so bad. Like you
There
don't even
you
have
go.
to get up and get dressed to the nines. Like you can just stream it now.
That place
And I didn't even think about that. Like,
humongous.
and I still don't do it. I still can't bring myself to
I want
remember to do it.
I want to stream the Amazing Idlewild.
I'm not saying that's what it was. What is so amazing about this Idlewild? Anyways?
I don't know.
I know it's a big mega
It's a
church.
big-
whatever.
yeah, I call that a monument to religious decadence.
I used to get in
It's
arguments
it's so big.
with the guy that he worked next to my shop, and I'd go in. Him and his wife that was super. What do you call it?
You get in a lot of arguments.
Phony.
Phony. She wore so much makeup. She looked like a clown, and she was just all about the going to church and being seen and what she's driving and what she's wearing. And it's like, to me, everybody like that, you just proven to me that the whole Christianity thing is just bullshit. You're just going because you want people to see how much money you got. And that's all she was going for. But she was like super Christian. And he'd be like, well, Idlewild is like, it's a big hospital. that was right when they first built it, and I was like, "Oh, they have a hospital?" I thought he was being literal, you know. And I was like, "They have a hospital?" He was like, "No, it's like a hospital because they do healing." And I'm like, "Oh, fuck
For your
you.
soul, hospital for your soul.
Hospital
That's a
for your
solid
soul.
pitch, though.
Yeah.
That's an interesting way of pitching it.
I was just like, "Well, that's a bunch of bullshit," and he'd be like, "Come on, Donna," and I'd be like, "Fuck no."
He would say that Donna would say
ridiculous.
it's it's ridiculous to have this multi-million-dollar structure, and he would say, well, you have to have that to entice the people in so you can save them. And it's like logically looking at that, if you got to entice the heathens in so you can save them, they're not really worth saving, are you? You can't just save them. You can't go up to them and say, I want to save you. They're like, no, I need a donut shop and a cafeteria and a rock band or I won't be saved. It's like, that's God's plan. I was like,
Well, that's the thing. Yeah, you just go back and say God's plan, and then
it's God's plan.
It's the
God's
equivalent of fake news. You just go God's plan.
God's plan.
It's the two.
That's the whole thing. All their sayings is what makes me. I'm like, every fucking saying you Christians have is such
God's plan.
bullshit. It was part of God's plan. It was, or they.
No, it's like politics. It's God's plan.
Yeah.
Or it's free will.
Or it's free will. It's
Man
like,
has free will.
You got to pick one.
You
You
got
can't
free will.
have
No, it's God's plan.
the best of. You can't have both.
This Christianity it's a real nothing burger, if you ask me.
It's just a bunch of bullshit with sayings that they love to say that don't even make any sense.
I get all confused with religion because, people go, oh, none of this ever happened. It's all fake. And then you hear out their side, and then you watch Nat Geo or something like that on Easter, and they'll have a marathon about how, Jesus of Nazareth did exist. He was a real person. And so now you're forced to like decipher between what history Nat Geo's telling you and then what, Bob from Polk County's telling you. And the beliefs are, and I'm going, okay, where do I meet this in the middle, right? Okay, he was a real individual, but where did it stop? Where did it all go haywire for Jesus of Nazareth?
He was, but David Koresh was a real individual.
Yeah.
I mean, you'd have no idea. Like, we don't. You can't find the history from like 60 years ago.
Well, that's what I mean. Like, I can only
how
attribute it to a game of
this is
telephone.
like 2,000 years ago.
Yeah, and I attribute it as the ultimate game of telephone. You're getting these tales that are handed down, and they become these wild stories.
You can't tell what was true. I mean, from the Kennedy assassination,
Right.
They can't tell you what was true from 5 freaking years ago. But you think what we're supposed to believe all this stuff that was, I don't how many years?
2,000 years ago, and not only that.
2,000
what you know why
years
you
ago.
believe it? You believe it because they found this guy wrote some stuff in a cave.
Dum
But-
dum 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 dum.
About
But-
2,000 years
Right,
ago.
but
why do you believe this guy who wrote it?
And if somebody wrote
2000
something like that,
who is this guy?
present day, they would just say that's bullshit.
Well, much like L. Ron Hubbard.
Exactly.
Exactly.
The Scientology.
But it's
But they say, I don't know, I've heard that that's been around for longer than what I've told it.
What, Scientology?
Yeah.
He stole it from somebody?
Well, I don't know. I just read before because I was like, so did he really? Is all this just around from when, the 50s or 60s or I don't even know.
Yeah.
But then someone else had said, oh, Scientology's been around for hundreds of years, and it's like I don't know.
Maybe, but nobody could make it work.
Yeah.
And Elron made it work. Make
made
the
it work.
money.
the rub is I don't care enough, and I'm not equipped and armed enough to have a intellectual debate with a preacher or a pastor, right? Meanwhile, they've spent years honing their craft and going to religious schools and doing everything that a pastor, or preacher, or
They know
minister
all the
does.
right answers.
You're right. They know all the right answers and rebuttals. So it's like going against a telemarketer. They're always going to have the something to rebut with, and it's always great. And I am left at a loss because I'm going, oh, man, they got me again. And then I just kind of give up. So I know that now I can't even fight that fight
Well, you always go.
Hang on a second. Jamie the Plumber, 2,000. Emerson the Johnson gifted 5 tier 1 subs, and Jamie the Plumber gifted 5 as well. Thank you very much. You know, go ahead.
I always go back to like when people nowadays they'll do something and they'll say the devil made him do it, and everybody immediately just thinks they're a crazy person, right?
Yeah.
It's like, why do you think he's a crazy person? I think you should go with that.
Jamie the Plumber, 800 bits.
If they'll say, you know, God talks to me, or I have a personal relationship with God, everybody believes that 100%. But they don't believe. It's like you wouldn't need God if you didn't have the devil. The devil is a intricate part of your religion, and yet you think people are crazy if they say anything about the devil. And then though you got the people that will not give their kids medication or something, and they'll say because it's part of my religion.
Yep.
They'll fucking put you in jail for that shit.
Yep.
Well, what are you talking about? They're a Christian,
why
would you put them in jail
the United
for
States
following
government,
what the Bible tells them?
The United States government does not believe prayer can help your child.
That's right. They'll put you in freaking jail.
Put you in jail.
Yeah, it's getting a religious exemption for your children from all these vaccines that they poke your kids with. You know, it's pretty intricate, and then they can't go to the public schools.
Yeah.
Because the public schools are like, well, your child's not vaccinated and they're not current. But it's like, well, yeah, you didn't want to. You wanted to poke my child like 35 times before the age of 5 with stuff that I don't necessarily agree with.
And stuff they're not even
Oh, they get mad.
That's a whole nother thing.
They get mad. We're going to rename the show the Segway Show. It's merely it's a 3-hour segue. But like, don't you go to the doctor if you tell them like it's like, well, I want to wait on some vaccines. You know, because they get fucking money from it. That's all it is. It's like you're not saying don't vaccine my kid. It's like just don't give my kid 5 vaccinations at once. That sounds like a sensible argument to me.
Yeah, it's the weirdest thing. And then one thing, the Diacos, for instance, right? Like much respect to them.
For the two and talking.
For the two and talking thing, I will give them all the credit in the world for that and the vaccination stuff that they're very very on point with.
Yep.
And Dan Diaco brought up the point of going, hey, look, they're a child. It's fresh out the womb. It's fresh out of the vagina. There hasn't been through anything. Hasn't had the opportunity to catch anything. And the first thing you want to do is jab the kid with vaccinations. Like, vaccinate from what? They haven't even had an opportunity to have anything go awry. And I'm probably explaining that terribly, but
that's about right.
They want to give them the hepatitis C vaccine. It was like they haven't been exposed to anything.
Yeah, it's a weird move.
It's not weird,
and I don't know what other countries do. I really don't.
That would be interesting. Because I don't know. Well, they don't tell you. They don't tell you anything that you...
Bro, I was like, this week I was in that place from going, I got to move. I got to get out of this country. I'm just looking at taxes and all this stuff.
Nowhere to go.
Well, that's the other part, because I'm going, I would love to maybe move out of the country, but then again, I don't know how shitty the other places are. I have no point of reference, right?
Everybody else is coming here, right?
Yeah. So like where, if I move to El Salvador, am I going to be like, wow, this is really awesome? Or am I going to throw down all my chips, move there and go, oh shit.
Yeah.
Why did I leave America?
I mean, they'll be like there's a lot of seniors now who move to like places like El Salvador, and because they can make it, they can make a decent, they can live decently on less money, and they seem to be like, yeah, it's pretty cool. I don't know. I don't know either. Who was the guy? The singer, the hard punk singer, Henry Rollins, who'd come in and he would backpack any country in the world and never had a problem.
Yeah, when was that?
No,
not terribly long ago.
But also
he probably still does it to this day.
But also, some people give off a certain aura
of don't fuck with me.
Don't fuck with me.
Yeah,
like if I walk the streets of El Salvador,
you're getting pickpocketed.
I'm getting shot in the head. But Henry Rollins can just walk, because he.
Yeah, there was
very confident.
Yeah, but I for real, like I don't even know if anybody in chat or if they've lived anywhere else, because I've come across people. I've never really got in-depth conversations with folks who are going, okay, so you came over here from this country, but I never really ask them like, hey, how is it if an American were to drop everything and go, I want to move to there? Like, how would it be? Would it be a good experience?
Luis would know that because he travels the world. And he does say, he says, lots of American seniors moved to Ecuador to live like millionaires, but now gangs took over that whole country. So that's what I would think. Gangs are everywhere. They're so... And he goes everywhere. He would know.
Like El Salvador is... Like, that's an interesting case because they one of the highest murder rates in the world, and then this new guy took over and he put everybody in jail. If you had any gang tattoo like on, you were in jail, and people were like outraged. It's like, well, maybe sometimes you get a trade off.
I actually sent you something, and it's not a whole thing you have to get into by any stretch, but that president, it's like Bukwe or something like that from El Salvador. I know exactly what you're talking about. But one of the members of the squad that, oh my gosh, the Muslim.
With Ileana Omar?
Yes, Omar.
Okay. She
introduced a letter today talking about how El Salvador got an election coming up and basically calling it a bullshit election, and that the current president has essentially wrote himself in for another term and blah, blah, blah. The president of El Salvador.
Oh, that's a good one. That's a good tweet.
Yeah. That's what he put back.
Oh, I'm fucking lost.
Luis said there are good places for us to move, though. He says Italy and Portugal are good and safe for American expats.
Italy and Portugal.
Some of my friends retired to Thailand and love it.
Thailand.
I don't know about that.
Yeah, see, that's the thing. I don't know. We sit here and we go, I don't know about that one. I don't know about that one. But then again, if somebody were to go, I moved to America and I moved to Chicago. Yeah. Oh, I don't know about that.
See, there you go. It's true.
You know?
Or, yeah. San Francisco where they're pooping in the streets.
Yeah, it looks.
I mean, I'm thinking Thailand probably has some. They probably kill you if you smoke weed. So I'm gonna have to quit smoking weed.
Or not move to Thailand.
It's what I don't know. Right now, it's looking like smoking weed, but in the future, I mean,
he said
have a
Costa
decent
Rica
life.
is cheap and safe. Costa Rica.
I heard Costa Rica is like more expensive now.
Costa Rica.
I just want to go to a place where I guess it's a tough balance to find a place that's nobody's being dicks. Oh, so
so who runs this guy's Twitter account?
Him,
because that's a good one. That's a good one. He says we are honored to receive your attacks just days before our election. I would be very worried if we had your support. He gave him a Ric Flair deal.
He's pretty great.
That's a good one.
The leader of El Salvador is appears to be pretty great.
I've seen him talk. You see, I mean, everybody's screwing you. I just want to be screwed by somebody who is not a moron. I'm sick of these morons lying to me. They're bad liars. They're morons. They're just criminals. I want to be lied to by Vivek Ramaswamy because that guy knows his shit.
You love him, don't you?
Knows his shit.
He's pretty great. He's so smooth.
I want to be lied to by Donald Trump because he makes me laugh.
Yeah.
Name me somebody. Those are the only two guys I can really name. Who Lindsey Graham.
Ew.
Chuck Schumer, Nancy Pelosi, Mitch McConnell. I mean, there's a long list of just dog shit.
Yeah.
So give me, Joe Biden. What a piece of shit. He's always been a piece of shit. That's why. That's what pisses me off about Joe Biden. It's not the Trump Biden deal. It's like this guy's been a piece of shit for like 50 years. And now we got to deal with him and act like he's cool because you hate Donald Trump. Fuck you.
Yeah. If you listen to some of Biden's old speeches.
He's a Republican.
Whoa, bro! It's pretty insane.
I mean, everything he says, he contradicts now, and you have him on video saying the exact opposite. And I've said this before, it's like that used to be a gotcha. It's like, Joe, we got you on tape, saying this, and now you say completely opposite. It doesn't. It's not even a thing anymore. It's like, yeah.
Remember when he said the N-bomb?
Which one was that?
He didn't something about the oh my gosh.
I don't remember.
I don't want to I certainly don't want to misquote that one.
Yeah.
Everybody's saying that weed is legal in Thailand now.
Oh, we're going to Thailand, honey.
It sounds terrible to say, but I couldn't find Thailand on a map. If you pulled out a map right now, I'd be hard pressed. Oh. Just because I haven't looked at a globe lately. Like I haven't looked at a world map. I've lost it.
I think I could get like 600 miles close to Thailand.
Somewhere within the range of Thailand.
Is it anywhere near Sri Lanka?
I don't know where Sri Lanka is.
See,
but I know.
Wait, how long's it been since you looked at just a real map of the world?
We got a globe up there we use all the time.
All right, now
we pull it down frequently to look.
Now,
oh, you do. Okay.
You can pick Thailand out without like looking at the name or just where you think it might be. Just pick it.
So
I'm thinking
here's America. I'm just gonna give a general idea here.
And you're an honest guy. Just pick honestly where you think Thailand is.
That's Middle East. It can't be there. It's got to be closer to Hawaii than the other coast. You know what I'm saying? So, all right, I'm going here.
Okay.
Okay. Now I'm thinking.
Wait. Now tell us where that is.
Okay, where I pointed to. Well, apparently it's China.
Okay,
China. But
now don't tell us where Thailand is.
Yeah. No. I'm.
Okay, so he pointed to China.
I pointed to where specifically I'm more at is more towards Taiwan.
Okay, so you're like on the east or west coast of China, right? Over there?
That's kind of where I was thinking, but
all right, now give it to Donna. Donna's going to guess.
Okay.
I was thinking it was more like out in the
No, we're playing a game called American Idiots.
I was thinking it was more
so
here.
Pick it. Now, where is that?
So I'm thinking around the same area. He was in Taiwan. I'm in the Philippines. That's where I was thinking.
I'm thinking I can just kick you guys' asses on this.
Okay, yeah.
But
I thought you were going to throw it.
Now Mike's going to take the globe.
I'm going to find it real quick.
See, now
I'm not looking.
That really looks like the globe from Pee-wee's Playhouse back in the day, right?
Everybody need. Okay, I'm gonna say right with not looking right here.
Okay.
Okay, and I can't see.
All right, hold on. Let me. You got it?
I got a light over here.
Okay.
I think I got.
And you think you got within 600 miles? Is kind of your guess?
I could be wrong. What was that? Where am I? I'm at Burma. I don't know where that is.
Me either.
Oh, I was real close.
Is it really?
Yeah. And you guys weren't that far.
no.
Where actually is it?
Yeah.
Thailand is right next to Vietnam.
Oh, so it's not anywhere near Sri Lanka, right?
I'm looking for. I can't.
What about that old Taiwan? How close is it to Taiwan?
It sounds more like Thailand. Just sounds like a place for child pornography, child rapists.
Jesus.
Wasn't Sri Lanka
You won't be
the
running
place?
for the leader over there.
No, like there's Thailand. There's sex tours, with pedophilia and stuff in Thailand. I'm pretty sure.
Is it Thailand that I'm thinking too?
Yes,
okay.
I believe so.
But I mean, you could say that I guess about here too.
That's the United States. You probably buy
children are getting raped all the time.
Isn't that the weird thing? Is the way we view other places, and we're going, well, can't move there because they got gangs. It's like, well, we have gangs. Can't move there because they got sex trafficking. Well, we have sex trafficking. Like everything.
It's American exceptionalism.
Can't move there because they beat their women.
Our domestics are better than yours.
I mean, if you look at the number of women killed due to domestic violence, I wonder if if we lead, we're one of the leaders of the world in domestic violence.
Oof,
I don't know.
You think more than some of the.
Well, India, India, they still got.
I feel like some of the more primitive spots around the globe.
Yeah, maybe if you just amongst the civilized Western world.
Yeah, like
the Western world.
We're a first world country that has people that act in third world ways.
Yeah.
I think we're a second world country, and we're heading to 3.
Ooh.
I think we are.
Man,
Maybe
you can't get no
eventually.
service. You can't. Everything's going downhill. The immigration deal is fucking ridiculous.
I don't understand why people
fucking
move here
outrageous.
and don't assimilate. Like are you not trying to get away from your shitty country, but then you want to come here and keep all your shitty same stuff? I mean, you're supposed to melt and be in the melting pot and assimilate and become like the. Aren't you moving to a country where you? I want to become like those people.
So
Not. I want to move to that country and start my own little shitty country that I came from.
Okay.
That's what I don't understand.
Yes, agreed. However, if I'm moving to Thailand, guess what?
Yeah.
I'm not going to learn what's going on over there. I'll be lucky
But why would you move there then?
because I got to get the hell out of here. You know what I'm saying?
Do they allow that? Do they allow people
Like,
to go there? Is there like, oh yeah, this part of Thailand, it's like a little America?
I don't know, but I guarantee there's going to be people over in Thailand that are going to go, this American, he doesn't even want to learn our culture. He doesn't want to learn our language.
But I bet you'd have to because
I would
they're not
hate
gonna.
it.
They're
I
not
would
gonna,
hate it.
They're not going to make all the signs and for you to.
I want to go there, but I don't want to go there and assimilate. Is that, you know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
it would be a whole thing. It's a whole to do.
I mean, if you go to Thailand, babe, you know, what are you going to watch on TV? You're not going to watch. You want to watch American programs.
yeah.
And if you watch, like, if I was going to watch sports, I'm going to be wanting to watch. Hey, let me go see how the Bucks are doing, and you know, it's just and who you going to want to hang out with, the people who you don't understand their language, or the few Americans you can find. You know, you're going to hang out with the Americans in Thailand.
Yeah. If we were to move to Thailand, we would be viewed as, I would imagine, the assholes, which is the same way that we view immigrants over here in some way, shape, or form. But I'm with you, Mike. I think immigration, like, I've never really been a hardcore immigration stance thing because I believed like people were trying to get away from bad situations, and you know. But like for the first time in my life, I'm listening to all this, I'm seeing all this, and I'm just kind of taking in all the information and paying all these taxes, and I don't know what I'm getting out of it. And you're seeing people get free this, free that. For the first time in my life, I'm just kind of going, I really just can't. I don't get it. I feel like immigration is like got to be the number one. At least this week in my brain, it's got to be number one.
But
it's
I don't
overtaken.
think it is
Yes.
because the media is not really playing it up. I mean, it's
But in my brain, it's taken over the number one spot of
Yeah.
my
Yes.
gripes.
It is.
And it didn't used to be number one for me.
well,
Right.
look. It used to be Mexicans coming over the border. You know, you got the gangs and stuff, but most of them looking for work and to send money back to Mexico. And now you got people from every country in the world, undocumented, coming through by the thousands. It's like that's a nightmare scenario. If you go to get your driver's license, you got to go show 2 forms of ID and your power bill. You can come from Pakistan and walk right in without an ID, and they'll give you money and stuff. And you could be a people from China. China's not our friend.
Yeah.
And there's thousands of
and
Chinese.
they make everything we have.
It's insanity, and
That's
it's
so
not even
weird.
an issue. It's not really an issue. What's the issue? Trump's sex trial.
Well, I also think about this. If we were to move to, let's say, Thailand again, right? Like, how would that go? Do we move over there and you just set up shop? Or is there some sort of system in place where you've got to become a citizen of Thailand?
You have to check all that out because
bet-
some places you're not allowed to buy property.
I bet it ain't
You know?
easy. I bet it ain't easy to move to Thailand. You know, I mean, you've got to jump through some.
That's what I'd be
hoops.
curious of. Like,
Louise
if
said
it's
there-
harder to get into Thailand than it is to get into America. Like, we got to we at least have to be on par with Thailand.
Okay, if you, Matt, fly to Burma, and then you cross into Thailand because you want to get to Thailand,
Yep.
I think they'll throw you out. See, they will throw you out, but
Which-
they don't throw you out here.
Which would be my expectation. I would go over there going, I've got to be
I
getting
hope I don't
thrown
get
out,
I don't
right?
get
Like,
caught. But here here we give you a check and a phone and a hotel room.
in a court date 3 years from now that you're never
That
going to
you're
show
not
up to.
gonna, it's insanity, and it's like that's what I think all the ridiculous that goes on, and everything's more ridiculous every day, so that you're not focused on
What's going
they're
on here?
destroying our country in a very short period of time. That don't work out.
That's why
these
they
people don't
did-
give a fuck about America.
That's why they
should
did that
they?
whole thing about why nobody's allowed to say anything because they knew all these people would be coming here, and they want everybody to keep your mouth shut We're not going to discriminate. We're not going to talk about
Right,
bad
you're
about
intolerant
other people.
if you
Yeah.
speak on it.
Yes.
There
So that's why they did that, to just squash everybody's, saying anything and make everybody afraid to say anything, so that when this all happened, everybody's just keeping their mouth shut about it because you're afraid to say anything or you'll be canceled.
No human being is illegal, Donna. I just wanted to say that.
Shut up. Louise says that there are little Americas and little Europes in Thailand. The locals all speak English and they just want your money.
yeah, even better. We're going to Thailand,
Dude,
baby. Little America.
I don't know what's like a threat in Thailand. You know what I mean? Like, that's the other part is like, okay, America, we've got pretty good defense force built up, right? But what's going on in Thailand? Like, how do we
Nothing's
know
going on in
that?
Thailand? Nothing.
Is there enemies of Thailand? Who wants to
Everybody
wants to
loves Thailand.
invade Thailand? Like, where do what situation
I'm
are we
sure
getting
that
ourselves
they
into?
have, I'm sure they have big cities and everything, but like, he always makes fun of me. I view every other country as a third world country.
Yeah.
I just feel like they all live in shacks.
Yeah,
and
we're
they
still the best.
Are eating off of a open fire outside
and pooping into the ground. We don't know where it goes. There's just a hole in the ground.
I'm sure that's not the case.
I know.
But I don't know.
I know. It's weird.
It's like, see, Thailand is buffered by Burma and Vietnam from China, and then it's on the ocean.
Are they
Thailand's-
all driving? Are they
Thailand's
all
good,
riding
man.
donkeys everywhere they go? I don't know.
They do, and they eat sticks.
Not steaks. Sticks.
Louise says Thailand is threat free. That's why.
There you go,
That's why
threat-free,
tourists
baby.
and expats like it. Traffic sucks though.
Oh,
But then
I ain't going
Those
nowhere.
donkeys.
But then if you become a citizen of Thailand, let's say, right, or
you?
you're over there a certain amount of time, don't you? I think you risk losing your Social Security
Oh sure.
from the
Probably.
U.S.
Well, you're gonna lose it
Maybe.
anyway. They already spent it. So
Yeah, fair.
if you're in your 40s, head to
Yeah.
Thailand.
It's all
Maybe.
very weird.
I don't know. I feel like somebody told us before that they went to
I thought if you spend more
another
than
country and they still get theirs.
if you spend more than a certain amount of time, I don't.
It's a
'Cause why
dick
couldn't
move.
you
They
just-
keep, they love to steal.
Why
that
couldn't
Social
you just
Security.
have it deposited into your bank in America and use it? You can just
don't tell
do
them.
everything online, right?
Are you in Thailand? No.
No. Here's
Why would you think
my address
that?
is a PO box, but
Well, dude, like just the tax thing. I'm so over it because of the property taxes.
it's going through the roof.
And then, you go to the store and you're paying taxes on every item. And then everybody wants to tip. Like, it's just all of it combined. And it's just too much. It's too much.
Don't you think it's weird to have like to go into Firehouse Subs and they have a tip jar on the counter? Now those people aren't doing anything for you. You're just picking up a sandwich to go, and they're just doing their regular job. Why would you need to tip them?
I get so fired up about the tip game. It's totally
Well,
ridiculous.
they had that thing. I was like, I'm not putting any fucking tip in there. You haven't done anything except ring me up,
I know.
And that used to be just your that's your job. You get paid for that. You're not getting paid $6 an hour.
Everybody's got their hand out. Everybody has their hand out. But as Americans, we're giving these items and programs to people that are elite. I just can't. I'm just down and out about it this week.
Yeah.
It's all.
It sucks.
that's
I'm
why you
down and
not-
out about it too
that's why you
after
need
my
to-
trip to Publix.
You did not watch the news and just enjoy your life and your freedoms right now, and just savor it. Savor is the word of the day.
Yeah, but even if I don't watch the news or don't do anything, I'm still paying taxes on all this stuff, and I'm still getting dinged for everybody wants all this stuff. It's just too much.
I mean, like,
so I could not watch the news, and it's still happening.
in Pasco County, if you drive, what direction would that be here? West of here? No, east of here. All the way up to freaking Zephyr Hills. There's nothing but houses. They're building thousands upon thousands of houses. We're in one of the fastest growing areas around. Can you imagine the property taxes they're getting from all?
And they raise your taxes.
And
It's
why
like,
are they raising my
Why would
taxes
you-
when you've just got all this new
Yeah.
income. It's a freaking scam.
Yeah, I worked my whole life to own a home. I'll never own my home. I'll never own the home. It's all just so heavy this week, dude. It's just all.
They don't want anybody to ever own their home again.
even-
Because
but
they
even-
don't
and-
want you passing it on to your kids. They want you to have to give that house up.
And that's like, talk about an American value, like that made us like, that was the bedrock of America. Is like one day you can own your own home, and that's an investment that will take you to your grave. You don't have to worry. You own your own home. That ain't and it
don't
ain't
want it
happening,
anymore.
and
No.
that's a big fucking deal.
Yeah.
It ain't happening. You can't own your own. You're not owning these $450,000 houses up there in the lagoon.
Well, then your property taxes. I mean, your property tax.
Even
Like
it-
you have a bill consistently forever, and you cannot escape it. You can't get out of it. And at no point in time have I ever heard somebody go, "Hey, you know what? Let's not lower your taxes in this way, but let's fucking freeze your property taxes wherever it's at. Let's freeze it. Let's put a 5-year freeze on it. Do something out of the box, something with property taxes where it gives some incentive for people to go, fuck, thank you, because all I've done is live here, and every year you reassess the value of my home, and my bill goes up, and I've done nothing to deserve it.
Yeah.
Done nothing to deserve it.
That's why a lot of people are losing their homes.
I think back in the day, you had to pay your property taxes, but it wasn't a significant thing in your, it was like budget. Everybody could pay their property taxes. Now your property taxes, you're like, what the fuck am I paying my, when I'm 70, and how am I going to pay these property taxes when I'm 70?
Yeah, and you're paying property taxes on something that's,
That you own.
that I own, and on top of it, these new builds. If you're looking at something, okay, $500,000, so now you're paying property taxes on a $500,000 place, which is significant. I don't know. The whole thing is just it's got
crazy.
me down, man.
It just doesn't make sense because either they're not running the business right, which is your county.
The case,
they're not
yeah.
running
Which
the
they're not.
business
They're
right
not.
because then they say, oh, well, you got to build new fire stations and blah, blah, blah because of all these homes. Well, then you should have been charging them maybe more of an impact fee, or maybe they should be charged, instead of you have so many people coming. I just can't even imagine the amount of money you're getting from all those people moving here. So you're not charging the right amount for something.
Do you think
where you're
Thailand is corrupt?
Yes.
Yes.
That's the rub
But,
too, right?
But there's
Everything
degrees
is.
of corruption. Like I think,
we hide it better.
and
We mask it.
but if you were growing up in America, like probably even when you were growing, you had a great fucking life, right? Growing. I mean,
Go on.
But you weren't hungry.
Right.
You had. I think we're reaching a turning point where, life is, American exceptionalism was kind of true because we had a great country and they're turning the country into shit. And for my grandkids, I'm just like, oh man, I don't know how it's gonna suck ass.
I don't want to go
I've
been so down. I don't even want to go anywhere anymore because it's just
to deal with
all of it.
all of it.
Johnny Goddamn Loco says, my house is paid off. My current property tax and insurance is close to the price of my original mortgage payment.
Right?
Yeah, there you go.
And you'll never be able to get rid of it. Ever.
And if you don't pay that, they'll take your house. That you paid all that
Yeah.
money for.
They'll just take
But
your fucking house.
but to me, and I don't know, but I've never heard any politician or anybody mention property taxes. They always mention your state income tax, federal tax. They always go with these other taxes. But the one I never really hear anybody mention is your property taxes.
They were trying to raise it in Pasco
Raise
and
it.
in
That's
and in
Yeah, you only hear
Hillsborough
about
County.
raising it.
Yeah, in Hillsborough County, they voted it down. I was shocked. That was that was just a few months ago. Because I was like, man, they're going to just pass it whether, people want it or not. They don't care. They'll just pass it. And then they voted it down.
Man, maybe I got to start smoking pot because
Hillsborough.
this is...
Then you'll lie in bed like I do at night and think of all these things times 10. Here's the fucking Frenchies.
Man.
The Frenchies are smelling salsa. The Frenchies are the Frenchies are over. Oh, you were such a wuss.
Dude, those smelling salts are crazy.
the Frenchy farmers have had enough, and they're like paving over the interstates with soil. They don't fuck around in France. See,
I mean, how do they not have the cops out there though? Stop it, barricading.
If you search France in
But wait,
in Twitter,
what are they doing? And why?
Because I don't. Not so much in America, because everything's a corporate farm in America. So in Europe, they're trying to run with the climate change agenda.
Mm-hmm.
Farming is bad for the environment, and they're trying to tax and get these farmers out of business.
Okay,
it's just an excuse to get these guys land.
So these guys are showing are clapping back by putting soil all over the roads.
But they're blocking the roads all through Paris. See there. This is the only way. This is the only way you get shit done.
Is it doing anything?
I think they just started arresting the farmers.
Yeah, exactly.
And confiscating their tractors.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
They're going to take their
They
equipment.
just sit back and figure out, okay, we'll let you do that, but we're sitting here figuring out how we're going to fuck you.
It's the old fuck around and find out thing.
Yeah.
French horns even seem weird, don't they?
But isn't that
But what?
Isn't that awful though that they got the people out there, this many people, and they still say fuck you?
Yeah, they'll still
They
say
still
fuck you.
say fuck you. So how can you change anything? You can't change anything. You can't make them do anything right, because they're on their own agenda, and they're like, you fucking peasants, try to fight back, but it ain't ever going to work, because we are too big.
They're blocking the roads into Paris.
And
That's a pretty big blockade
That's
right
what's
there.
sad, is having to think that they're just too big. Every government's just too big, because they don't look at that.
It is a big blockade.
They don't give a fuck.
Unless you're the one guy who's going, you know what? I think I'm tired of being here. I can't get out of this thing. Like, I can't turn around. I'm stuck in this blockade until this thing's over.
Yeah.
And they'll just if they'll let it go on for a while, and then like Canada did, they'll freeze your bank account and do all that kind of shit.
And look what I always wonder. It's for several years now that Hillsborough, Pasco, all the police departments, sheriff's departments, they all started getting these huge tanks, almost like military type tanks, and I was like, why are they doing that? Well, and they act like, well, we may need these one day. It's like, yeah, I bet you will.
They are
I
suited.
bet you will.
They're suited and booted like
They
nobody's
are.
business.
And
They do love those tanks, don't they?
Yeah, and I mean, imagine how much they cost and how much they don't use them. They don't use them
don't
for
use
really
them at
anything.
all.
So it's like
Every once in a while.
So they plan things 10, 15, 20 years ahead of time. So they get those way ahead of time so that they know on this date, this is when we're going to need these fucking things. But we got to make people think that we got them way ahead of time for other reasons. But now, they all have them. And it's like, I know there's some bullshit. Eventually, they got those for.
You don't think that the police department just doesn't need a tank?
No.
Just for,
I don't.
a random situations where, it calls for a tank?
A tank and just the stuff they wear now, it's like everything's just crazy.
And
when you'll see them occasionally get that stuff out. Trace says he sees it a lot more up in up on near the interstate in the Webster area, because they have something up there.
It is a showpiece though. If you got a tank or something like that, it's peacocking.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's a mentality too. If I'm a cop and I got a helmet on and I got this belt with like 17 different ammos and weapons and tasers and guns, and I got a baton and a bulletproof vest, I kind of feel like a badass.
Unstoppable almost.
Unstoppable badass. Don't fuck with me. I'm that's what they got these, that's the mentality. I'm a pretty humble, meek guy, but if I was walking around like some of these guys, I'd be like, have a little pep in my fucking step. Like, yeah, look at me, bitch.
Well, that and you surround yourself with 50 people exactly like you.
It's like, who's gonna mess with us?
Right.
If somebody does,
We got a
fucking
crew.
Beat them down. That's what we got. Fucking beat them down.
Yeah, you can't stop that.
We got a hell of a crew.
Yep.
We got an outfitted crew.
Dude.
Seized up 2-stroke, 43 months. Subscribe. Thank you.
Appreciate it. Seized up 2-stroke.
Seized up 2-stroke.
Must be an homage to Trace.
So, do you guys want to know about the renting out the schools?
Oh,
You found out?
I did.
I would love to know about this.
Anybody can rent out the schools. Any day of the week.
any day of the week.
I mean, you have to be approved.
Yeah.
Okay,
But
wait a
I don't-
second. This is going back to last week. We talked about churches renting out public schools. We got a
Right.
flyer in the mail about these new churches setting up shop in a public schools, which I think is odd. Mike thinks it's perfectly normal.
Right.
My side hustle.
Donna's on my side here. So you actually called who?
Hillsborough County Schools.
Okay. And you said, hey, how does this process work?
Yep.
And they said anybody can rent out a public school.
Yeah, you go to this website. It's like a booking website where you book it. And you just
Okay.
pick what school you want. You can rent out either the classroom or the gymnasium or the cafeteria, whatever for whatever size you need.
So it's become a venue now.
Yeah.
These are no longer public schools. These are venues.
Right.
Weddings,
I don't know.
quinceañeras,
That
anything
I don't-
goes?
That I don't know. You have to tell them what they want. They have to approve it.
Ah.
But I don't know that they have a lot of.
Was there a cost that they said?
Yeah.
Okay, what are we
So-
talking?
Did they say how much?
If you want to just rent a regular classroom, say
Yeah.
20, 30 people, $75 an hour.
that ain't bad.
Plus a cleanup fee or anything like that?
They required an administrator to be there, and you can either clean up or they require a custodian to be paid. But
You can't have alcohol though.
Yeah, you can't have like a party. I doubt they'll
Forget
let you
that.
have a party.
Boo.
But say like the church thing. I imagine that one they would probably rent out the gymnasium. That
Okay.
would be
Does
big
it-
enough for that. She
How much
said
is
those
that?
are like $120 an hour.
Oh my God, that's such a steal.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Such a
But-
steal.
but
I'm
she
gonna,
said
I'm gonna
you
do
have
a
to
comedy
do-
show in a church cafeteria.
You have to do like for those they usually do like a 4-hour block. And
still
instead of
cheap as fuck.
$120 an hour, they'll do it for $300.
They give you a deal.
$300 for.
Wait, did you
for-
say an hour or the whole thing?
$300 an hour.
What was the first hour? I mean,
$120 an hour. Oh wait.
that don't make sense. You mean, that's
No.
a worse deal.
$300
For
is
the whole thing.
Yeah.
That's a great
Yeah,
deal.
it's a great deal. A great
gotta-
deal. And you can even, they do all kinds of different organizations do it.
Who's in charge of renting the schools out, though?
She
Somebody's
said,
making some money.
well,
on
this
this.
lady's in charge of it. And she's like, I'm a one-man show. So here's
Oh,
my
my
number.
God. What a nightmare.
One
She
man
acted
show.
like she does it all. And for all the schools, I guess she said, and then it goes to either the principal or the school or the district. The principal
They have
decides.
to approve it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they'll run it by the principal, and then they decide who gets the money, the school or the district. So that's probably what was going on with your dad. They
I'm
probably let the school have it.
I find it interesting, though, because if you went to rent one of these classrooms out or whatever, right? And it gets passed up the chain and you've got the money and you go, hey, here's what I want, blah, blah, blah. And then at the principal's level, for instance, the principal goes, no, I don't like that. Like now you're like, you're having a discrimination conversation,
Right.
perhaps,
Yeah.
right? Because if you're, again, going back to like Church of Satan, all right, what, the principal's now going to discriminate because you're the Church of Satan versus this? Like, I'm just saying, like,
Right.
that's a weird
He's gonna-
You
territory
would
to
have-
get into.
He's
Yeah.
gonna pass the buck to the. He's gonna say talk. He's gonna approve it and say go. up
And
to
and
there.
and furthermore, when usually if you've got a venue rented out, like for instance, like a cafeteria or a gymnasium, what is that? What's that typically seating? What do you think? 400 or 500 people,
easily.
something like that,
Yeah,
right?
easy. Yeah.
You would have to. I mean, if you're holding any other sort of events, you usually have to hire off-duty cops. Now, I know a lot of these churches do that anyways,
Yes.
right?
Yep.
But did
They
she
did
mention?
say. that if you get security, some of them require security.
Some of them require security. And then what about insurance? Like, who's covering insurance?
That I didn't check into.
Yeah.
She did say $7 an hour for utilities.
Yeah, so insurance is probably it'd be a ticky-tack fee, $25, $50.
Not necessarily. You've got to.
I bet it is.
No, I mean, like from the standpoint of if I were going to rent out a concert venue, right? I have to have my own policy. I've got to have my own.
Yeah.
$1
million.
$1 million, yeah, liability, etc. Right. So now I've got to write up a policy for that day of that event. Now who's showing the proof of the policy in place, and who's like, to me, there's a lot of working parts here that are eventually not going to work. And God forbid something happens at one of these events, at one of these schools, some sort of criminal activity,
and then they sue the school system,
and it's going to be a mess.
Your tax
And
dollars.
the thing is, I don't know that a lot of people know they can do that.
I don't think
because
they do.
I don't
I don't
ever
think
I would
they
have
do.
never thought
schools around here. I go by. I never see anything going on.
So if like
at
you
any
wanted
of
to
them,
shoot
except for a school
a
thing.
video, like a rap video or a rock video in a classroom, you just pay the $75 an hour.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Until the
there's a
principal
few
says, wait, you
others-
can't shoot your rap video here. And you go, well, why not? You go, I don't really have a good answer for that. And you go, all right.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe you have to sign in to this site, and I didn't create an account to sign in. I just went as far as I could go as to book. I could look up the school I wanted. I could look up the days. I could look up the time frame I wanted, and then see how much it would
Well, that
be.
church, these
But-
churches are killing it, because if they're renting out a 500-person venue or whatever for $300, their
Yeah.
all-in cost
God, that's
is
cheap.
maybe $2,000 a month. When it's all said and done with your janitors or whatever it's going to be, or even call it $3,000 a month. Right. That's $36,000 a year. That church at 500 people a clip every Sunday. Oh my God, they're printing money.
It's like we need to figure out how we need to K5 this whole thing. It sounds like a real moneymaker that people don't know about.
School of Paloozas.
School of Paloozas.
So yeah,
like it.
I would like to know how far they would go, how far they'll go on what they allow there. That might be my next.
Yeah, time to push the
Phone call.
envelope.
I mean, we
See,
got
'cause
some free speech
once I called her,
issues here.
It's
too.
a
I
real
was
problem.
like, oh shit, she's gonna. What if she asked me I don't want to give her my name. I don't want to give her my phone number. I don't want to give her what I want to do there or anything. I have to come up with something, to what I want to do. So all I said, she never asked my name, and she didn't ask my phone number, which I was very happy. And all she asked was, well, like, what kind of thing? Like, do you need just a classroom? I said, well, it might be like a classroom to try to teach, podcasting. That's all I could think of at the time. So I was like, she didn't say nothing about that.
By the way, it's podcasting about Satan. Does that matter?
I could not think of anything. I was just like, I'm just going to say that because I wonder if she would say, oh, you can't do that. So
School of Palooza is what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
I mean, you can
From there.
we got some punch. We don't, no alcoholic beverages, but we got some punch.
Yes, it's just a little punch. Well,
Bring your vape.
yeah, man, I don't know. That just it seems like I'm not trying to be a narc about it, but it sure does seem like it's a little weird.
Well, I'm sure somebody's making some money that shouldn't be making some money on that shit. That's the way it goes.
That's the way it goes.
And wonder where that money goes? Yeah,
Just
because
somebody's
they're always
pocket.
begging for money at schools. Well, you're renting it out to a fucking church every Sunday. Why don't you buy some computer paper with that?
Yeah, and you got one person dealing with the whole county for all these schools.
Yeah.
And who's collecting the utilities and how's it getting parsed out on the bottom
To
line?
the electric bill.
Yeah.
How's
Like,
that
okay,
getting
well,
sent to the Duke Energy?
We allocated this portion of the, like, it seems like another line item in their P&L that would seem impossible to track.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Donnie, you need to get on this.
Well, I'll look a little more into it
$7 an hour
for you to.
for a gymnasium. or a classroom. It doesn't matter which one. It's going to be 7 across the board.
Oh, we got to figure something out about this.
And I find it weird that they say you could it either requires a custodian or you can clean up after, it's like, really, you let people clean up? What about if they don't do a great job? And I wanted to ask her, I wanted to say, how do you keep people from roaming around in the fucking school or stealing shit out of the classrooms or,
That's true too. Yeah.
No, you got an administrator present.
Yeah, but where's he at? He's probably sitting in a freaking office somewhere.
Like the classrooms are locked.
You got to get in and out of the.
Classrooms have doors and stuff now.
Yeah, well, I mean, maybe
a separate entrance point.
I like a 4-pot quad pot. I don't know.
But still, the general areas are not like they're open libraries where you walk in the middle and then you go to classes. And
yeah, but you can't get into the library.
But you got to go through it to get.
Probably
to the
rent that thing for $1.50.
No. There's locked doors. I've been a janitor to school, and there's locked doors. Big Kahuna says punch and cookies. See.
That's right.
And they just, you can even come right out and say it. We're going to have a punch and cookies get together. And she's like, that's quaint.
Yeah, sounds like a lovely idea.
People are out of their gourd. All right, I got to pee and I need a drink.
Yeah.
And we'll come back with some VIP. Hey, man, everybody who tuned in, thank you so much for tuning into the Hang with Mike and Matt and Donna as well. And thanks for subscribing to Cluster F and Ed in Your Head and The Bar Show and Mike and Jerry and all that nonsense. And we'll be right back with some VIP. And if you're interested in the Hang VIP, it's on clusterfshow.com.